Alright, so first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody for another wonderful game of Draconis. Is that the appropriate way to say that name?
Yeah, nobody knows. That's okay.
Technically, nobody knows because nobody speaks Latin anymore. But the best approximation I know of is "Ich swint draconis,"
Which we totally don't use either.
I don't even use it.
Wikipedia says it's actually hic with HIC fully pronounced, but I don't know who you want to go off of most.
I think I just want to go off waterboarding. That'll be fine.
Fair enough.
That's what trying to figure out this pronunciation is.
Probably. We did not play last week. Unfortunately, I did have a wonderful house guest staying with me last week, and that took up my time, and I didn't really want to, hide from that too much. We also had a player out, but we are back and ready to go this week, and I don't foresee that happening again, hopefully for a while. We are picking back up where we laughed off.
Where we left off. Nice.
Where we left off. But before we do that, we should probably address the elephant vector in the room.
Is that me?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I think what I'm trying to get at is the HSD Kickstarter is now live for 2.0.
Oh, that one, right.
Yes, and you too could go on to kickstarter.com.
I honestly would not argue with Bono going on to kickstarter.com.
Yeah,
I mean,
are we still doing the Bono jokes?
that will occur.
Always.
I'd like to point out HSD 2.0 Kickstarter is doing quite well.
It's right at the edge of the second stretch goal.
Yeah, right at the edge of the second stretch goal. It met its funding level in the first 7 hours. Is that correct, though?
Yeah, I got to the past one since then. Slowed down a bit on day 2. Hopefully we can crank it up. But it did. It got to where it needs to be. So we are in a good spot at the moment.
And there are various interesting backer levels here. There's a lot of amazing videos. I definitely encourage anybody, at the very least, to hop on there and check out. I would play the video, but it would take some time, and you guys would be sitting in silence while I watch the video. But there's an amazing video on here.
We're gonna riff tracks my video. Why did you put text up at the same time you were talking? Nobody can read that. I know.
But
It is
Sam.
a text that doesn't even say the same thing that the words are saying. What are you even doing?
But Sam, what kind of things can I get from this Kickstarter?
Well, what things you can get from this Kickstarter are, in fact, books.
Yes.
Like the original Sound and Silence is available in a bundle with the new HSD 2.0. You can, at various backer levels, also get a gamepad. You can
Fancy.
also get miniatures and
Wow.
everything. There are backer levels.
Stop that.
And these miniatures are actually very special because if you back at the miniature level, you would get one of the miniatures that you would, I believe, design using components already existing in the line.
Yes.
But Zev would then incorporate your miniature into various shots that would be used, demonstrating how combat works in the book, and then your miniature would then come to you after. So it's kind of amazing. And yes, also for the small amount of $2,000, Zev will host your HSD game with you and 4 of your friends, and not enough books for all of them.
What are you talking about? One of them uses Sound and Silence. That's just their rule book that comes with it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Golly gee, I sure wish I could get that to host the game for me.
Shut up. You guys aren't helping.
You said our best behavior.
It's true. Yeah.
So,
I signed no contract saying.
I don't think we sign contracts, but
It's good. It's all implied. That way I can't be held to them.
I actually highly recommend Zev hosting your HSE game because I was kind of reading that over, having him get together, setting a day for you, doing like an 8-hour session or something like that.
It's all the stuff I don't do for Sam.
And also getting to pick the content, so you could be like, Zev, I want, I really want to go to Longbow or Zev. I want to be there when the cool stuff happens out, on Europa. It just like you could really set something really interesting together, and you and your friends could have an amazing experience. Unlike us, who just kind of usually, well, Zev takes us places.
It's true, occasion. Sev, I don't want this to end tragically. Fine. Tie my hands. I understand.
It's like, well, I'm gonna be refunding this.
Yeah, I guess this is going back in your direction.
That's the burger sovereign.
That's because Allie's going to be like Sev, beach episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
So one other thing I would like to point out, and I'm only going to point this out because I feel that the Puma needs to have her time. I believe she's a Puma.
That's true.
Yes, and in the latest video, I would like to point out the home wrecker. I mean, Fei Ren. Is that right?
Yes.
Sorry, I call her.
I occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, Fei Ren, one of the most iconic characters in Hook Summit Draconis' universe, makes an appearance in the video for the Kickstarter. We see her on clearly a Marsco ship because she's wearing a Marsco armor set. She's got our Marsco logos on the ships that she's on, and those are Pulse ships.
Mhm.
So I want to see Marsco and Pulse throwing down, guys. There is something going on, and I think we all want to know about that coming storm.
They are fun contracts that will hopefully be coming in emerging years.
Yay!
So as things continue, there was one contract in 1.0 that actually had a sequel that was planned for it, and that sequel will be made in 2.0. That was the end contract. Kind of ended on a cliffhanger with the bad guys getting away. So that contract will conclude, and others will tie off of it. So things are going in a. That was the one underwater, the pale man in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's I just didn't catch the name.
Yeah, that was the underwater one, and there are places that's going and fun things that we're doing. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's where my character came in. I remember that now.
Reminder, everybody, HSD's Kickstarter. It's amazing. It's beautiful. There's some really great stuff on there. It's been the evolution of like 2 years worth of work, I think. There's a lot of old favorites in there. There's a lot of new stuff coming up. And the bigger it gets, the better it's going to be because these stretch goals aren't going to happen themselves. They're going to need. We need people to get the word out there, get it contributed, get it higher up, get well past this part that looks like Sam doing work, and this part that looks like Sam not doing work, because Sam didn't catch that when she was reading this last week. I didn't catch the whole character sheet thing at all, Zev.
Well, you've already got it built. At least a prototype, right?
I know, I have a prototype.
It's a prototype.
I was like telling Drax, I was like, well, look at all these amazing, and then I had this deadpan look, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait, where's the secret $50,000 stretch goal where Generico gets made official to HSD?
If we get to 40, I will consult with the powers that be about never doing that ever.
I would like to think that if we get to 40,000, that I want the secret 50,000 goal to come. And remember earlier in the stream you were doing the other day for the launch where I was, let's see some shoulder. I want to see that tattoo.
That's totally a different game.
So you want the $50,000 stretch goal to be these strips for us?
Yes. Is that really not what we want as a group?
I hadn't actually set a price for that in my mind as I grew up, but I mean, I guess it's up for negotiation.
You see, once it's up for negotiation, we've got a whole nother set of things. we know what you are then.
I mean, I'd like to believe that the game is a more appealing bait, but whatever. Pay me.
Yeah, but somebody's dignity is way more.
That's just true. Fair enough. I mean,
Never underestimate.
fair enough.
Yes, but yeah, the contracts being updated is at 25K. That'd be, of course, great to get that facilitated because this takes a lot of effort on Zev's part, not on anyone else's part. This is all Zev's slave work except for the things that are clearly Sam's slave work, and.
You mean like Roll20 character sheet support?
I think that's Zev's work right there.
It may be.
It might be.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So I heard a rumor that the secret $50,000 stretch goal is that Fox Winter from Roleplay Roulette will get a Rifts tattoo.
Oh,
Oh, will he?
oh, really?
Oh,
Of an
wow.
entirely different gaming system. It's just gonna have
Yeah.
fate
I
dice
was just
on
like,
it.
that seems a little off-brand, but I mean, that's not really my place to question.
You gotta be careful getting a Rifts tattoo though, because
Alright.
slight misalignment and it's really unbalanced tattoo.
I'll make this
Ah.
fair. If at 50K you get a wrist tattoo, and Zev takes his shirt off, I will get a Generico tattoo.
Okay, we should really like stage these. Like like 50, 100. Like you don't
No,
just
go
do it
for
all at
broke.
Go
once.
for broke. No, all at once. This is what they want. No.
I'd be willing to get a TTI tattoo.
It's not all at the same level though. You gotta like stagger
Okay,
this.
I'll be at 60,000 for a tattoo.
You gotta punch a little more because we're gonna have to buy it for you.
Yeah, the sad thing is the Generico tattoo will need to actually be designed. And
I already have the Generico logo.
Oh,
Hey,
actually,
you-
I'm
you-
okay with that.
You've seen it,
I
but you
just-
forgot because it was pretty generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I remember the Generico tattoo. No, I don't want to do the Generico logo. Can I do IRPF? Alright, so I think that's probably enough plug for HSD Kickstarter for tonight. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Zeb, was that enough? You need more?
It'll do for now. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of population in the stream, so I'm sure we can move on.
Well, I'm sure they'll watch the video posted.
Hope so.
There's a whole 12 people watching right now.
Yeah. Alright, so we are going to start. Can I get a recap?
And amen. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sure. I'll get you your recap. All right. So, wait, from like the last episode, or should I go from the beginning here? Who do we have that wasn't here before? Let me look at this.
Whatever you want to do, because
This is
your
your
time to
day.
shine.
Here's
And
what's
it's
trying to-
actually technically Buster, my dog's day, and I should probably put.
Oh, yeah,
Buster's
it's
picture
Buster's
up on the
birthday.
screen if they want.
Oh, hi,
Oh.
Buster. Happy
Happy
Bustering.
Happy birthday, Buster. Do you want to do
Happy birthday, Buster.
Buster is 7 years old, and he had raw lamb for dinner, and he has passed out and can't move.
Ah, yes.
Real quick, I want to check my volume. I was listening to some of the previous casts, and I noticed that I was awfully low. So I was wondering if I'm coming through all
It
right.
sounds pretty clear to me.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit on mine, so that may help.
Sam's the only one that it matters for.
Yeah.
I recorded on my end too, but I mean,
Yeah, I've turned you up. Is that better, or can you talk? Or you
Yeah. I
Alright.
test noise.
sounds
Alright.
fun to me.
Well, I turned it up on my side, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, Mars, is this better?
Is this better? Well, yes, I do believe you've adjusted the dial, but
Here on mic, can you please tell me and James Russell and Reforming Snake? Okay. Okay, good. Alright. Oh, also, I had one question for you, Zev, before we get going. Because you didn't answer me in my questions and answer thing, because you never answer me.
this is because the system varies based on how many people we get. The best shipping solution for the multiple books thing is going to actually come down to how many people end up getting the multiple books thing. Because if there's only like one or yeah, if not very many of them go, then you will likely be given like or you'll just be given a code or tell me what to do. But if a lot of people get it, then I can't get individual codes for that many people, so it'll have to change the format.
Okay, so it'll be based on who gets it.
Pretty much
Or
how many large like
Okay,
multiple book
no
things are
one
taken.
else buy the... I really don't want to have to ship all these books to my friend. I got a lot of books, guys.
I don't want to pay the import costs.
Well, the thing is I was planning on asking you to send the because I don't think Allie got the mat that came from Sound and Silence.
I didn't get Sound and Silence.
I was gonna send you Sound and Silence and the mat and probably the toggles. So, because I have a full collection of toggles. I'm one of those people. Alright, sorry. Now go ahead and do your recap.
Actually, insanely jealous.
The fancy bunch, they're pretty nifty. I enjoyed them doing them. Anyway, as far as like the game thing goes, yes. All right, so a long time ago, in like I don't know, 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks. What session are we on? Is this 4?
I think this is number 4.
I think this is 4. I think this is for this one. Little recap just for folks who are watching as to what this is. HSD2 has had a lot of different test sessions that mostly consist of just endless combat because that's typically what needs the most looking at. And we had done that for long enough that things are in a pretty solid and happy location. So this is the first genuine campaign that has been run in some time now for HSD2, rather than just a test campaign where you're rolling checks for everything and beating up every person you walk into in order to test system out. So the game that you're watching is more representational of what you would actually end up playing once you get the game. You won't see as many tests. We're going to be able to open doors without doing checks for them unless Sam's feeling particularly vindictive. But it's a bit more of a real game as opposed to a test game. But things are still in a little flux, so you might see the occasional hiccup while we work things out. By and large, the rules are pretty settled at this point. In this campaign, we are underground. There is a massive and marvelous city above us, owned by Progenitus, I believe, that is a beacon of hope on Mars and beloved by all and form of great opportunities and splendor for vistas and all those things for all those people who can afford them. Down below them, literally down below them, in subterranean layers left by the terraforming process and massive excavators and towns that have come and fallen and lands before, is an underhive of folks who were not so lucky as to be included in that kind of upper world area. And it is a large and developed enough zone down there that there are many people who never get the chance to go up top. It has its own little society. It has its own attempts at currency and trade and power is controlled by gangs and weaponry and drug use and all the unpleasantries associated thereof. And we are currently cast in that area as we fight our way skyward for various different reasons. And at the beginning of this little adventure, we were introduced to 4 characters. One of them was a kind of lost cog who had been cast forth into the downturn by unfortunate events, never really spent any time on the streets or below them, is way out of her element and woke up inside of a chop shop where she was going to be reduced to parts and parted out and used for who knows what, where she was subjected to all manner of bad luck, including being paired with the worst of friends. Was a blip of uncertain background who had gotten down there more of her own curiosity and accidental stumbling than any particular bad luck. And on a counterpoint to that one, we had 2 people that have spent their entire lives underground. One of which was a blip that was stolen from the surface, that was taken care of by a family that took them because they wanted to have a special order child but couldn't afford them, and was brought down unknowingly. He's got a desire to go find his original parents, but the fear that perhaps they would never wanted him anyway, or he was replaced after being removed. He's kind of a hot product as far as a stolen goods goes, so he's been shunned and forlorn by many of the other street powers that are down here. Was recently picked up again in order to be kept out of trouble because he was on his own on the streets, and is kind of being shadowed and vaguely guarded by local tough girls / heart of gold heroine, who is actually another member of the gang that we're currently working for in this project. And her background consists of working for people that she more or less decided was not in line with her way of thinking after long enough. She cracked enough heads and flayed enough bodies that this just wasn't going to continue this way. Ended up swapping sides. Not that things have gotten any less violent, but at least there's less flaying involved. We are currently trying to assess our own situations, figure out people's motivations. We're working for a man that had us off doing some odd jobs because he's trying to take care of a large group of kids that can't really take care of themselves. And we are what qualifies as talented help in this particular area, which is really kind of unfortunate because our talented help consists of one person with no real official training, one 11, 12-year-old who was only taught how to shoot through targeting, Amelia, who is actually the local plug, and then whatever the hell Miko comes out to be. So the talented help is a little lacking, but we managed to get the job done that we were first assessed to. We had to take over a printing facility so that our somewhat fearful leader could get a chance to actually produce some real goods for his people. And that's kind of where we're at currently. But while we were waiting for him to show up and actually lay claim to this facility that we had managed to overcome, taken from the Spirals, who were this local gang group, local gang group. Spirals of this local gang group.
Spirals spend a lot of time playing a counterfeit HSD system.
The Spirals only play Fatal.
Yeah, no. I mean, technically, if you wanted to make a Spirals joke, you could say it was a White Wolf gang.
Yeah,
But they had gone out on a mission. Their leader was this horrific Vita demon who has been leading the Spirals with Iron Fist, or at least this faction of them. Had left this printer under lower guard while he went off on a raid, which was going to take him several days to go through. And we slipped in the meantime and cautiously, carefully, with nary anybody to be. No, we burned down half the building. It wasn't any of those things I just mentioned. We burned the building down. Anyway, we got in there and were successfully able to take over the place and discovered just heaps of stolen, extremely powerful technological material that was kind of way over the heads of the people who took them, at least according to our understanding of what they are. So some of our characters that have a little bit more knowledge of surface material are a little concerned about why they have this much hardware and where they took it from, and more importantly, who is going to be trying to get it back, because there's a lot of people who would be interested in picking up a lot of this stolen TTI material. Included in that were several little bioprobes that are capable of kind of joining in a symbiotic relationship with their owners to provide a little bit of added hardware and power. And one particular mischievous slash not to be trusted character may have decided that rather than allow these things to stay in their tubes where they might be misused by the Spirals should they ever be recollected, they should perhaps be attached to more, known evils like the party. So certain bottles might have gotten broken and certain strange brain slugs may have been strewn about a room, and perhaps most of us are now hosting semi-parasitic organisms that, try to make us blow things up.
That is strange. You make it sound like it was a good idea. I got more the impression she did it just to see what happened.
Listen, I can spin this any way I want. I'm making the rules up here. Come on.
I'd like to point out, you completely forgot the fact that, sometime after something happened with those, a bit of information was neglected to be told to the oncoming gang.
Listen, we're not going to dwell on certain events like not telling allies that there's a minefield between one door and their destination. The point is, they survived.
We're not here to throw Stottle under the bus. We're not telling anybody.
Yeah, we believe in Stottle, our fearless leader, and it would undermine him to say that he had forgotten to mention the minefield that perhaps our allies walked through.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts on this operation.
And moving through the minefield was one of them.
Right.
Yeah. Anywho, we're kind of in that spot right about now, with a few grim realizations in mind. One was that one of our characters is currently being pursued by the RAPF, or at least is supposedly being pursued by the RAPF. And Stottle, the person who's running the gang that we are currently working for, believes that if perhaps we hand him over to the powers that be, that maybe we can escape what is essentially a citywide purge that's going on. We don't have a whole lot of evidence to support this, but it is the local theory. So that is one thing that we're having to deal with. Another is the knowledge that we have picked up every sample of this strange biocritter that is able to present different powers to their owners, except for one, which was mysteriously missing from the crate. And we don't know if it was ever there to begin with, but it seems strange to have a sample platter without a piece of everything. One was missing and maybe attached to a spiral somewhere. And then there's just the stuff that we had before, like being stuck with Miko and being just stuck with everybody else isn't around. Also, there's a strange AI sitting around inside our cog. But that'll happen.
Yeah. I believe when we left off directly, and by the way, as a result of Zev's really good little thing there, everyone's getting 5 XP.
Yay!
Thing.
Can I get
Oh,
like
nice.
5 pledges?
That was actually really
Yeah.
good since you did it like the entire thing. I'm gonna give that everybody like that.
That was a
That was actually
Thank
quite a
you,
mouthful.
Zev.
Thank you, Zev. All right, so I believe we were leaving.
I would have tried to script it, but I've been a little busy. Just saying.
I think you've been just a little busy. Also, you had to drink all that wine. What was that?
That was Kraken.
Oh, okay. I don't know my alcohol, so.
I didn't, and I did not down the entire jug of Kraken.
Are you sure?
Liar.
It was the second sip that made it go away.
We'll see. If we start getting to higher Kickstarters, we might start draining the bottle a wee bit more, or higher bagger tiers. But
all right, so I believe we left off, and Aaron and Amelia, you guys had started your talk.
I believe we had just concluded it.
Yeah, you just concluded
Yeah.
your talk. I believe Amelia had approached Aaron about, do you want to go do that or whatever, and I don't remember if Aaron had made a decision.
Aaron had made a decision.
Had or hadn't?
Had.
And had told it. Did you tell Amelia?
Yep.
Alright, so you told Amelia, and I'm assuming it was.
If this is going to help people, then Aaron will give themselves up.
Okay, so.
which we
Aaron
have
said
no
that-
proof that this is going to help anyone. But
Yeah, they have no proof right now. But Aaron has said that they would give themselves up. So Amelia, you come back out kind of, armed with that, because having a little talk with her. And you can see Stottle, he's got a frown on his face, his brows furrowed a bit while he's watching some of his younger proteges working at the printer.
which did we ever get? Because I don't think we had ever gotten it guaranteed to actually start again yet. Like he
No,
just
not
arrived with stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got them working on it right now,
Mhm.
and he's kind of getting everything together with that. They're starting to fix and rewire things right now. And he looks over to Amelia as she's clearly now free of Aaron, like he would like some dish on here of what's going on.
Just, Amelia is currently just kind of sitting on the floor, like cross-legged, like hunched over, brooding.
He wants some dish. I want to have. I just like the idea that his idea of like juicy gossip is whose life did you ruin today? Like,
I feel so attacked. So he walked up and asked me.
No, he's looking over at you because you've left your conversation with Aaron, and he's kind of he's standing over, making sure the kids are doing their work. And he's not sure if he should approach you yet, but you can definitely tell he's looking like he wants to come talk to you.
I do not notice him. Amelia
On purpose.
No, which Amelia is dealing with this melty brain slug that's currently making her feel all of these things.
Is there like a lot of extra mucus and stuff coming out of your body right now?
No.
Nobody makes me feel my own feelings.
Nobody makes me bleed blood. No, just like years and years and years and years, like building walls against these things, and then this
Little sluggy boy comes and fucks it up.
this blood fella has come along. And it's just like, oh no, we're gonna be honest with ourselves.
I hate you. You're just speaking out of hurt. No, shut up.
You just don't like to be vulnerable. You don't know your face.
It's like, well, no, you got that right. I don't like to be vulnerable. So she's just like sitting there, just completely inside her own head.
It's basically.
Maybe idly idly drawing little circles and stuff in the ground with her Bernie.
Disappointed that we missed the second opportunity for here. There's basically two ways you can play this creature, right? It's either the gentle therapist or Emperor Palpatine. Use your feelings, make you stronger. Do it.
Unfortunately, you got the Steven Universe.
Yeah, so you're gonna get the pats on the back instead of strike them down.
Miss Zuri.
Yes.
After a few moments, you can kind of see Stottle just kind of giving this look like he wants to go talk to Amelia, but because people are socially inept, he's actually gonna suddenly come over and approach you.
You have none of the important info I need. Help me.
You're pretty good at fixing stuff, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be racist here, but I heard that you did something with the doors.
Yeah, I did my best to, well, put them back together.
Alright, well, you might come over here and help with the kids for a minute.
Okay, sure.
You know how these old systems work, right?
Depends on how old. I can take a look.
It's fairly new. It's probably about 600 years old.
Oh, only 600 years. Well,
I mean, honestly, door technology only improves so much. I mean,
it's okay. We got the cards for it to read.
That's okay. I'll take a look.
Okay. Why don't you give me a quick it'd be a mind, right? It'd be mind exert for engineering.
if he's trying to figure out what's up with it for
you gotta
diagnosis.
figure out what's going on with these kids having this problem. That'd be great.
Okay.
We're gonna say it's gonna be difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1. So I have 1d10 and 1d8. Wait, yes, d8. And
You said engineering.
Engineering, you
Yeah.
said, right?
Yeah.
I said difficulty 1. Yeah.
No, engineering is the stat. That
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
the stat.
stat,
Yeah.
I have a boon in that, so I would like to succeed on a 10.
That's good. That's good.
Probably gonna need it.
That could be.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have anything because you haven't rested, unfortunately. So.
I have no idea. Probably not.
All right. Well, this is some old tech, and you haven't seen parts like this. They go together completely different from the ones you've seen, and I mean, you had one in your house, like a little food printer or something like that, because you lived pretty nice before, and you could get your meals printed. And that one time it shorted out, and you thought you were really handy, and you fixed it. But this just looks like a bomb. In fact, you're not really certain children should be playing with it.
Who did this? This should be in here the other way around. And wow, I'm not even sure this part belongs on the printer.
They all kind of give this slow turn look at you as you start pointing out parts as you roll badly. And I think maybe they have it. Don't you worry about it. Why don't you help your friends adjust to their weird things? Maybe
You, the more stable person with an actual audible voice in their head.
Actually, the voice in my head is more like texting me most of the time.
Yeah, there's just text on front of your
The voice in your head periodically takes over your stream and makes you see things. It's basically unsolicited dick pic voice. That's what you've got.
So he kind of like gives you a good like pat on the back, like they're there, appreciate your good job. But move away from the printer now. So they only get one shot at this, and they've decided they don't want you over there.
That expression, head hanging a little as she rolls away.
So he like he lets you walk away, and he's gonna he's kind of looking a little like leery at Miko, because Miko's always moving. Miko's bouncing around in place and swaying this way and that way because Miko just is a very animated creature.
She's gonna go help out. I think I got this.
You think you got this?
Yeah.
And as you kind of approach, this beautiful sparkle dog that you are.
She's gonna
Goblin.
head on over there and be like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I got this. She has no clue what the hell she's doing. Fair enough. She's gonna go on over. There is a giant just bolt of lightning that leaps off the back of the new frill that she's got and hits the side of the thing. And she immediately turns around and walks the other way. No, that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna do that apparently.
Like, everyone leapt back like 2 when you did that.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna fix it. That's probably not a feature we want, is it? No, I guess I'll just go look over here.
Why don't you guys go take 5 somewhere farther away from the printer?
She's gonna kind of step outside.
Amelia, you mind making sure they don't blow something up?
What?
Come here for a sec.
She's like laboriously drags herself to her feet and walks over there. Just like, what?
Hey, you okay?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Inside,
Yeah,
you do.
let's,
You really do.
Yeah. Why don't we get some tea and some cookies, and we'll sit down and.
He goes,
We'll
well,
just-
maybe once
we'll
the
just
printer's
talk.
working.
Is the printer working?
Not yet. I'm working on it. So, maybe you should, take a couple minutes to yourself, collect yourself, keep your little friends a little farther away. I mean, are you calling them friends now? Do you hate them still?
I never said I.
Are
hated them.
they really that bad? I've heard things.
I never said I hated them.
Just
just
don't
asking.
like them very much.
I'm just asking if you're not comfortable. I understand I'm putting you through a lot today.
No, man, it's fine. I'm fine.
Alright, well, look, I'm gonna get this printer fixed. And then we're going on to the next stage. You remember that, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
we gotta print the little printers, and then we're gonna get out of here before shit goes wrong. We gotta deliver those where we can. Keep your eye out. If you see anything that might help us haul them, that'd be nice. But get some rest. Don't let your friends go take a walk in the minefield by themselves.
I gotta go
alright?
take a walk now.
And hey, what'd the kid say?
She said she'd go.
Ah, damn it! You should have told him. She said no.
She said she'd go.
Mm-hmm.
He frowns a bit. That's hard to ask me to do that. And they don't belong down here. When Sasha and Henrietta brought her down here, I mean, they robbed her of her life. Maybe it's gonna be for the best. But I mean, we make sure we know what we're doing before this happens. All right? It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. None of them belong down here. They should be up top.
Yeah. All right. Well, go. What is that? Is anything you want off the printer? I'm gonna print some food when it comes up.
Like all the liquor. That's what I want printed off the printer. When you get that going.
I really want Amelia to just like tear up and be like, address. just...
He's looking at you, and it's like he's seeing you kind of in a different light right now because this is not the asshole he's used to. Pardon. Usually you've got a lot more fight in you than what he's seeing right now. He's seeing a very defeated person, and it seems like it's actually kind of pulling him back a bit. And he just suddenly kind of like wraps both arms around you and gives you a big hug. And he's like, "Hey, you're stronger than this. You're right."
You can burn him now. Do it.
Use your anger.
It's like, what are you talking about?
I don't know what's going on with you, but
It's like kind of just shoving him back. It's like, I told you I'm fine.
are you sure?
Oh no, actually I'm really hurting inside, and I need a big old hug and somebody to tell me, yes, I'm fine. God damn it.
Yeah, sure. Well, why don't you go outside? You're kind of leaking a bit.
I'm just like, what? Where?
A little bit of acid tribbles. That, the inner, monologue of the creature. It's okay to feel. It's pure. Let the feelings flow. It's like the most annoying guidance counselor in the whole life. Stuck in your head
Miko
forever.
was gonna come back to provide the hug, but then she said that she didn't need it, so now she's kind of stuck at an awkward hover between the door that she was heading out to and back in the front, just kind of pacing back and forth.
He's gonna kind of like, hey, the rest of you new folk, why don't you go for a walk with Amelia? Do some scouting. We'll handle this.
Are we still new?
I think so.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you're still new.
I wasn't sure if he meant like, the people that just arrived on scene or not, because we've been here for a couple hours now.
But I think he meant like new in the group overall.
Oh, okay. Damn. It's harder to fix. She'll like saunter outside the back. Need to go find new recruits. I'm gonna be new forever. This stupid system.
They're new. He's the new people. Right? Alright.
She's gonna look out toward the hangar bay that we sent Sparky out to, and see if the building is still standing.
It is still standing. Every once in a while, there is flashes of light, and you can hear things getting knocked around, and you can see like a actual kind of flinch from Stottle as he keeps looking that way. But he's focused on the job he needs to handle right now, because they want to get this done so they can get out of here.
Nico will pat him reassuringly on the shoulder with her tail and be like, "Don't worry, he's going through a beautiful transformation."
I don't think that's going to be very beautiful for anyone around him.
Might taste good. I'll be over here.
All right, Toothy.
She'll head on out to the side.
Why don't you take this small child that I really trust you around outside with you?
All right. She'll grab Aaron. Like, how you doing? It's an exciting day,
the
huh?
kids actually, when he said that, were immediately near him, gave this fearful look and started shaking their heads.
Aaron has been standing since Amelia left him there, just like fiddling with the cuffs of his sweater. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm actually I'm having a good day. It's been a fun day. Learned a lot. Did you see this stuff? I mean, there was a lot of stuff to see. She seems a little more giddy than she even typically is in most cases. Like it's the beginning of a brand new day now.
I don't think that jolt you gave the printer did it any good.
Yeah, but it was broken already.
You guys are from the surface, right?
Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
And just to recap for people that don't realize what's going on here, Miko has a voice now inside their head that is basically Miko
again.
Side Miko's
It's like if you had a double Miko. She was already pretty.
This is a double shot espresso right now.
Essentially now
We have
Miko.
doubled it.
Essentially now Miko is the screaming peanuts.
They're calling peanuts on the other side.
What's it like up there?
What? Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you're not missing anything much, really. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what you want. If you like food, it's pretty good. And I mean, bathing facilities are better. Transportation's pretty nice. Technology, that's way better. Entertainment's pretty solid. The views,
Weather.
yeah, no, the
I
weather's.
never would have thought, but I kind of miss weather.
I mean, and whether or not you do or you don't, just about. I mean, most of the things. Sorry, what was the question?
No, that answers it. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Oh, it's pretty good on the whole. Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
so-
except when it's not, because sometimes it's not as good. Sometimes.
What what are the IAPF actually like?
Well, I mean, they want me dead. So I mean, that's kind of a point against them, right? Because who would want me dead?
They normally don't want people dead, though.
Oh, I may have earned that.
That
So-
is a bit of a special case.
I suppose. Yeah. Well, beyond that, I can't say I've personally had any. Maybe you should ask Amelia that one. I just feel like she's going to give you an answer that's going to make you less want to go back to the surface thing.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Listen.
Miko's like, I'm chaotic evil.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I'm gonna try to give you some good old fashioned, homespun advice here, because I'm full of that. I'm a little addled right now. Sorry, I'm figuring out. She's got like little flickers of light that are going down and seem a little more disjointed than they normally are. I just gotta find a new equilibrium. It's all just a new
Strangely
situation.
enough, while Miko's having this conversation, it looks like there's a little game of tic-tac-toe being played on one of their fins.
Yeah, so the little frill in the back, it actually is like a pretty high definition display. So there might be a loading thing that's just been spinning for the past like 10 minutes, like other thing there, trying to do it. Maybe this is what it comes down to. The grass is always greener when somebody else owns it, or I don't know. There's some kind of thing like that. The point is, it's probably better. There's yeah. There's probably like a whole heap of stuff up there that you really want because you've never had it before. And I'm all for getting you up there to see it. But like for those of us that have been up there, there's a whole heap of stuff that you kind of want to get away from too. I came down here. I mean, I was fleeing. I was fleeing for my life, but I fled down.
Aaron stares, trying to follow all that, and decides that nodding is probably the best answer.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Yeah.
We should heal people. We should help them, Aaron. Think of all the people we can help now.
Shut up, Forrest. I don't know how to help people right now because I haven't seen the updated rules for this.
Well, we should help people. I don't care if you haven't read the rules. That's not my fault.
We'll proceed forward as she kind of figures out where she's sitting at with her
Are
own
you guys
thing.
Actually going outside through the mine?
And she's gonna. Well, I mean, we should probably figure out where it is and or destroy it. Or do how many people do we have for overall like staff
Well,
over here? Can
I
people start
believe you
diffusing
guys
this?
have the 4 that came with Sparky. Total was Sparky and the other 3. Actually, let me double check that.
I think there
'cause,
were only 2.
I think there was 2. Yeah, there's only 2 with them. So there's 3, and then there were like 3 runners that are / mechanics that are working on the thing right now. And I will say the original 3 that came over are kind of grudging with you guys right now. Especially the one that's spewing fire in the garage right now.
Well,
It's
we
not
haven't
very
seen
great.
Zuko lately. We should probably go check on him.
Oh no!
He's just inside the freaking garage. Honor!
That's a bad idea because you throw lightning, so that's his natural enemy right now.
Ha.
That's true.
Hmm. Unfortunately, that will never change. Did you guys want to clear one of the doorways of the mines, or do you guys want to start relocating?
I want to see kind of how doable that is without us getting blown up in the process.
I
Is
will
that-
say I would let you guys do some engineering checks to disable them without triggering them.
I want somebody to do that before I try to.
Or you could use sabotage, which would be the more appropriate, and the DC will be much lower.
Oh, I can break them, but then we can't use them again.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
I would let you sabotage to disable them.
Oh, okay, yeah, no shit, I can try that.
You could sabotage to disable them, or engineering to disable them, but the DC is higher. Those are your choices. Anything else will merely set them off and draw more attention to this area that may have already started to happen.
She is going to begin a little like pigeon pod snake to the closest mine, with the nose toward the ground, in the like this is gonna get pounced on, but I swear I've got this.
No, don't pounce on it.
She's gonna get kind of close to it. It's like this should
Be
be
careful,
easy.
Fidget.
Yeah, careful, Fidget.
I don't know who you're talking about. She's gonna be like, okay, I got this. I got this. All you gotta do is flip them over and tickle them, and they don't work anymore.
What?
Okay,
Yeah,
that
do
only increased the difficulty of the sabotage.
Do I hear this?
Yes, you hear this because you were kind of like over there, but you might be. Are you feeling like so morose you don't care that you hear this?
No.
Alright,
Not
so
that
the
bad.
doorway's open. They kind of like started looking at the mines. You were kind of over there with them because you're supposed to be keeping an eye on them. You're kind of like letting out that big. These morons. And then you hear the fidgets don't fidgets.
Fidget, I'm pretty sure the flipping over and tickling was that new TTI critter.
What's the check you want?
All right, if you're flipping over and tickling.
No, I was gonna sabotage it.
It's a 2 for sabotage. and
Did
a
you
2
want
for-
mind or body?
I'm gonna say body
Okay.
on this actually, because
You said 2.
it's 2.
All right, so let's roll 2d plus 1.
Yeah, I'm just
Could be
like
worse.
sticking my head out there, and it's like, hey, don't blow the place up.
Well, you're about to see it almost
Alright,
get blown
so-
up. Hang on. Hang on. I don't want it to blow up on me.
I have a question for you because
Uh.
you guys have not rested since last time.
Oh no.
Do you have stuff? Because you don't have any rested.
Oh no.
I think most of us are bottomed out, right?
That may
Yeah.
be true.
Did you have a boot and sabotage this week?
No. No. Hang on. Hang on. That's all right. This'll be fine. She's gonna flip it over and tickle it.
Oh no. Fidget, no!
So what happens is Miko suddenly leaps forward. Their tail had been like starting to wiggle and waggle, and their butt started to go. You know how like a dog or a cat is about to lunge at something, and suddenly she surges forward, her front paws sliding, trying to go underneath the mine to flip it over to put it on its back so she could tickle its belly. Apparently,
Now listen, there was a plan here. It was just a plan that involved having hands.
depresses the plate on the other side as it touches the ground, and there is suddenly a.
So, Amelia during this time is like running towards her, like, no.
All right, so high,
Hi.
bounce, low, you boom.
Okay.
Well,
I hope it's the bounce.
Oh, that's my favorite game show, Bounce on Boom.
It's boom.
I lost the bouncer boom
So,
game.
question, because my rules have changed, have my hit point pool for the savior end?
We'll probably say yeah for that.
Sounds like possibly may need to do this.
I'll probably let you have that. But
What
yes,
did you-
boom. So I believe you are in the center hex.
I am the
That's
centrist.
right.
I believe. No, it's still a roll. It's just got a minimum on it. Let me pull it up.
Let's look, because I thought Hotspot had a center as a wound in 5d10. Yep, a wound in 5d10.
Yeah, wound in 5d10.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll the 5d10.
30.
And I will use full absorption to knock that off. So I'll take the wound.
You'll take and wound.
And wound.
All right.
Hang on.
So there is
I'll double
suddenly
check
a
that.
big explosion, which ripples across the frills of the back of Biko. Like, you know how those Etch-a-Sketches, when you shake them? The little tic-tac-toe game just gets blown away. and briefly it looks like exclamation points going across the back of the frills.
Let me go make sure that I'm using the right technique here. Just a second.
Good lord, your ruby rod. Let's talk to this big guy right here now.
So, where is that? Did I get
I
renamed?
can't find it by typing absorption. So.
Yeah, I think
Did it go away?
it might have gotten renamed.
Oh no. Was it a technique?
Yeah.
I know what to do. Medium armor training. That's the easiest. No, I can't find it. Shit.
Oh, I'm checking. 3-point techniques. It's up here somewhere.
Crap, I
Can do it first, and
think I have
going
the
to.
most.
This is how I finally find things.
No, it's there. I just don't know why it's popping up. I'm looking at it right now.
Is it spelled bad? Is it hyphenated?
Absorption. No.
I will say sometimes these PDF documents have trouble with Control F.
Yeah, it's just not parsing it. It's right there. It's on page 330. Roll a dodge save 2 if you're successful. Undo damage amount that was just done to you. Once per combat.
Alright.
So I will attempt to dodge out of its way as it starts going off.
I mean, technically, we're not in a combat, right?
But technically,
Oh,
don't blow me up.
The problem I'm having is I have apparently 1-3, and that's not the right one.
You want to be on, 1-4 is what you want. But it's there. It's just not showing up in find.
Yeah, on mine I was running 1-3, and it actually doesn't have that page you listed.
Oh.
I was like, huh, I don't see, I can't, no. Guys, I might be bad at DMing. Okay.
Download the right one, gosh.
Dodge Reno, sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to dodge a Reno, which unfortunately is not the greatest of dodging. Almost the greatest of dodging. Roll. Difficulty is 2 on this for mine. 2d8 plus 1. Please don't die. Do I have any kind of simplifies on dodges? Yes, I do. I have a simplification on dodge. Yes.
Good luck.
d8 plus d10. Bing. Come on. Yeah. Ha ha.
Fidget.
Ah.
Wow, that is amazing because you rolled max.
I did. It blows up. There's a giant explosion. Fidget is deleted from the word as it goes up. There's just a big hole, and she's standing in the middle of it unscathed. She's like,
So that even negates the automatic wound?
Yeah, it's 1 damage amount that just took place once per combat.
Alright, so you managed to somehow not do it, which... but there's still the blowback on the fins and the exclamation points, but unfortunately... You've learned nothing.
The last thing that you hear as your ears are ringing, you just see her mouth move, and you can barely hear her go, "My God, I'm fireproof."
Fidget, are you okay? Fidget. Oh no, Fidget.
Everyone inside has stopped what they're doing. They're like, "Oh shit, did someone die?"
Nope.
And then you see the kids starting to put down their tools. Stoddle starts walking over to Amelia. Fuck, did one of them die out there?
It's like, alright, hey, Jiggle Billy, are you okay?
Listen, I am losing track of my names, and also I had a plan. It just involved hands, which I forgot that I lack at the moment.
How are you okay? What?
It is very strange. There's like this perfect outline where apparently she did not get hit. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, you can say that. You can say that that she teleported out of the way because I did put the snapshot on.
Oh.
So She can. Yeah, she poured it off to the side and back again.
Just pour it off the side.
Yeah.
Shoop, shoop.
Listen, you generally know when I'm talking to you. The words I say that are your name, they're gonna be different a lot, so don't worry about it.
Oh, now I know how Benedict Cumberknuckle feels.
Maybe we should just get some like little sticks and string and like mark where the mines are instead.
Well, I was trying to like, get the mine, but I suppose that didn't quite work. Yeah, sure, that strings and stick.
I can try to deactivate some of them.
No, don't.
Can you? Okay. Are any of you trained to do this?
I might have been. I mean, I kind of had an idea of what to do. I just kind of
I-
lacked the tools.
I mean, I just
Technically,
kinda-
I mean, I know the principle of how they work, and I know how to how you turn them off. I've never done it before.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Stoddle is putting a hand on your shoulder, Amelia, and he gives you a very flat look, like, "Dear God, please don't let them."
Guys, this seems like a really bad idea.
She's already
Please don't-
wandering off to the next mine. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Hang on. No, rephrasing that.
And it's like,
I mean, if you guys really want to.
Grabbing Miko's
like, hey.
tail and trying to pull her away.
All right, I want a body.
No, she's
Athletics.
she's not actually gonna try to get it. They don't want to do
Oh.
it. It was a very
Okay.
narrow miss. But she's looking at it like, it would be kind of nice to have these. They're useful. Maybe we shouldn't just kind of leave them here.
I mean, ideally, I would like to move them to someplace else so that when the spirals come back, they don't know they're there.
Can we
Wait,
move them
I've
without
got an
triggering
idea.
them?
What's that?
When the spirals come back, before we leave, we move the flags slightly so that they think we've marked the mines, but the mines aren't actually enough spots.
That might actually work.
I mean, that's I feel much safer with you guys moving flags.
Stoddle kind of laughs a bit behind Amelia, and he goes, "Why don't we just print some extra mines and cover it all up while we leave? We aren't coming back in."
Can we still do my flag idea?
Yes, you can still do your flag.
No, I'm
ideas.
voting for the
Good
flag
idea.
idea. Yours seems like poor sportsmanship. I don't just print some mines. Why don't we just print some tanks, Stoddle? What are we even doing here? Print a fucking rocket ship. She stomps off over in the corner, gets the flag.
Stop. Delicately tiptoe.
Yeah,
Stop.
don't.
Delicately tiptoe.
I just like watching her stomp off and just like, yeah. While you're at it, why don't you print somebody who gives a shit? And then I'm just walking.
And Stoddle just has this look like, what? And he looks over at Zuri and Aaron like, did I do wrong?
Aaron looks a little upset at people stomping off and just, shrugs his shoulders.
Yeah, Zuri is shrugging her shoulder as well, and
But make sure they don't get into trouble. You two seem like you got heads in your shoulders that are pretty good. Bono, get in here!
Yes. Thank you for hopping on that one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important. Yeah, no. Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
officially naming one of the children Bono now.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we have flags, or is that another thing that needs to get printed?
No, it's another thing you don't
Well,
have. You do
I
not
mean,
have string or sticks.
We don't need flags. We just need like little bits of twig, debris, whatever can stick up.
You could go scavenge.
Well, we burned down half the building, so surely there's something twig-like that we can find. She'll look around for a markering device.
Alright, well,
Actually,
you're outside the
ash balls.
building, out in the street now, because you stomped past. So, but let's do, what would be a good way to do some salvagey, scavengey things?
Just body perceive if you're looking for
I
stuff.
do a body perceive. We'll say difficulty 1, because you're out in the middle of the street.
Aaron's gonna look around indoors because it was his idea.
Indoors, you can do it 0, because there's a whole bunch of broken crap in crates.
Look around out here.
Yeah.
She was 2.
Yeah, it may have actually started a fire at some point, and there's a bunch of broken things.
Oh.
Aaron, you got distracted. You basically like were looking, and then you found your displayed blanket, and you're like, "There's no way, right?
It's
I'd
because
use this."
I took all the good sticks for myself.
You
That's
did.
why.
Aaron's going to become pretty overwhelmed by the idea of going off with the IOPF and just curl up under his display blanket in a corner.
Oh god, Aaron's gone. They took him already.
The display blanket is, of course, in demo mode, as I described
Yeah.
earlier. So everyone once in a while, it's a beautiful mountain scene.
Oh no! I've got it inside out. I'm looking at the display inside.
Oh, nice.
You made your own planetarium.
Yeah.
Well, inside, Aaron, you're seeing like the stars. You're seeing beautiful space stations. You're seeing cafes.
Oh,
you're
this
seeing
just became the most tragic
land.
item in the game. Why did I even like? It's like little Aaron huddling under an upside down display blanket, looking at a universe she doesn't believe exists. Like, all right,
Yeah.
great, awesome.
Yeah, I just want to point out this is the kind of quality DMing that I like 3 days. Like I want to make you suffer about how tragic a display blanket could be.
Hey,
all
it was
time.
my idea.
I know. I love you for it, sweetie. You're the best.
Well, in the meantime, I found some sticks, so
All
there.
right, actually, in the meantime, you found a dead body, and you thought, "Huh, bones."
Yeah, I
In
mean,
fact, you found 2 dead bodies, and they are down to the point where there is actually a lot of bleached bones here, and clothes that aren't doing that great, but cloth.
oh, perfect. Prepare for the most macabre minefield you've
Man,
ever
the
seen.
Spirals are going to return and be like, Jesus Christ.
Freaking like Denry here is stepping up his game. Look at this.
Because unfortunately, plant life isn't actually much of a thing down here, so you
Somebody's
wouldn't
been
find sticks very often.
Somebody's been sleeping in my bed and they're metal as hell.
The best part about it, though, for you, Miko, is you find a skull of a canine vector, and it seems like the majority of his teeth have been replaced with what looks like razor blades.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
This is the
Unfortunately, it looks
medalist
like
of.
it did extreme damage to the inside of the jawbone.
Well, this one is going on the door. So I mean that's what matters there. She's gonna sit there for a moment, having a conversation with the skull about where it's going to end up, because this is a special piece. Those who are looking at the distance will see her with it on one paw, shaking it up and down as she's
So
having
you're
this
being
discussion.
Scar.
Essentially having this talk
And
with
the
it.
best part is, if you have those light scales that go up your forearm, they're making light kind of protrude.
Yeah,
through
come through the eyes.
Sockets.
Big
And the whole time, the little
wonderful
you
one.
just see out of light coming out of the skull across the street that Miko's talking to.
She'll
Do lighten up.
She's gonna point it over toward the building. Yes, that would be a great place for it. Come with me, Sheev. She's going to like put it off over here and start shoving sticks, the broken bones into the ground.
Alright. So you start jamming these broken bones as close to the mines as you probably feel is safe.
I think I'm roughly in
How
between
clo-
this one over here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the goal was to not mark the mines specifically, so they're kind of like.
So you're just marking them at where they're not.
Yeah, I'm just marking around.
No, I said we should do that when we leave.
Well, I heard certain parts of this idea,
I
and
mean, you
other
heard it how you
parts.
heard it. Oh, oh,
No,
Jesus.
Miko was out there just stabbing them kind of
Acidly.
macabrely into the ground outside. And everybody inside is talking about to Aaron, and they're like, "So you're gonna mark where the bombs are or where they aren't?"
Aaron muffledly replies from under the display blanket.
All right, thank you.
And we'll move them when we go.
All right.
Got this.
And we're killing many allies today.
Put this one over here. It's a little game I play. We're just gonna put this down over here.
Kill the allies? I don't like this game.
Oh,
All right. So meanwhile, I'm assuming Zuri's just watching this transpire.
Actually, it's what Zuri's gonna do first is roll up to Amelia and similar to what she did before, get out a handkerchief and start cleaning Amelia's face.
Okay, we've made the
it.
picture happen.
It needs to happen more.
That
You're
happens
gonna
with-
lose your handkerchief. She's acidic now.
Yeah, your bloody handkerchief is now getting smashed on it. If Amelia lets you do it.
I was getting to that. She's like cleaning and rubbing, and so it's all gonna be all right. You know, let's get you cleaned up and okay. Well, I guess not then. Sorry.
I didn't hear anything out of Fox. Did he say something?
I did not.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what. I have no idea what's going on.
Basically, suddenly Zuri is trying to fawn over you with a handkerchief for apparently no reason at all. Just, trying to, rub your cheeks and clean you back up again. Kind of fawning attention.
Okay. Then like after a minute, like I think Amelia is just standing there staring dumbfounded.
Mhm.
And it's like, what are you doing?
It's you. You look well sad.
Why does everybody think I look sad?
Because you look sad.
And that's about
Explosion notwithstanding, she's right. You look sad. Your tears appear to be highly corrosive. Or blood, well, I don't know what it was, but it ate a hole in my handkerchief.
I don't know what's going on. I got that happening now. It's kind of. I'm trying to figure out how to make it stop. Like all of it.
Well,
let it go. Let it go. You have the most annoying person in your head.
well, it's I can't pretend to know what you're going through with that thing, but I gotta get used to the idea that maybe you can't.
I'm just. You mean, the suggestion here then is that I'm gonna leak, I don't know, whatever this is, acid, like all the time.
It's maybe, like I said, it's I don't know how these things work.
Ah, man.
This is getting metaler by the minute.
Didn't Fidget say that that it's like has to do with your emotions?
Like, well, it's definitely. I don't have those things.
Stop using that
Down
word.
Here you don't have those things. People are born without.
Well, now you're just being silly. Everybody has emotions.
No, wimps have emotions.
No, that's just adorable.
We don't have like a Denry's little kid crowd over here going, yeah, yeah.
No, they're inside, like, wishing that they were under the display blankets.
So that's a different crowd. Hopefully, it didn't bring the freaking like, like, tiny team over.
I don't know. Maybe I can ask Nico how to make this stop.
I mean, she's appears to know how these things work. So, yeah, you probably should.
Kind of mysterious how Miko knows how these things work, guys. Just saying.
There actually is a bit of doubt in Zuri that Miko actually does know how these things work.
Listen,
After Miko said that I know how bombs work, guys.
there was a doubt that Mako knew how bombs worked, yet the bomb blew up and Mako did not. So I'm saying.
It's like, look, I don't know. Miko might not know anything about this, but she always says everything with so much confidence. It's hard not to believe her.
Oh man, you hate being honest like this, don't you?
I do.
I am no therapist. No, I did do training with progenitors, but not that kind.
They give you drugs for that.
But if that symbiote thing really does respond to your emotions, you might need to, how they say, get in touch with them.
I don't know anybody who says that.
Nobody has ever.
Maybe they don't down here, but they do on the surface.
Miko, about now.
The Funk So brother?
Right about now.
About now, you are gonna pick up on something.
Oh shit!
Interfering,
I haven't been
not
putting these
interfering.
anywhere any place useful. Oh, that. Okay. Thought I was going to realize spontaneously that these sticks were useless to anyone but me.
You pick up on something, and it's cutting out. It's a bad signal, but it's at least within a mile, and you can kind of you pick up all sorts of stuff sometimes, and it sounds like somebody who's going from channel to channel, from such you can tell, because you kind of are vaguely getting aware of it. Are you out there?
Oh
Please
shit!
respond.
The aliens are back.
I can't hold much longer. Why aren't you back? You didn't tell me what channel. Oh god. Oh god. It's coming, please.
Miko's gonna to briefly filter back through. Actually, hang on, my connection's being funky.
Oh no.
Just a second. I can probably jumpstart it.
Issues, guys. That'd be good.
Sounds fine to me.
Okay.
There we go. Hopefully it'll snap back now. She's gonna briefly filter back through memory to remember if she might have left anybody hanging off the edge of a cliff, because this is the sort of thing that's happened before. Did I leave anybody hanging behind that I was supposed to get back to? Shit, was there supposed to be something
Alright, give me a
I needed to do?
Perceive logic, we'll say. Actually, mind perceive. We'll do mind perceive.
Alright.
Difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1. Okay.
Actually, no, difficulty 1.
She is going to search that. 2D plus 1. Ah, type. Nope.
No, you don't remember anybody.
That must not be for me.
Do you want to continue following it as it's going through different channels?
Yeah, she's gonna try to track it for a little bit and just see if she can figure out any kind of context from it.
As it continues, here. Billy, where are you? You said he'd be here. He's coming. Please, come back. I don't care if you find the doctor. Just be here for us.
Doctor.
And then it continues again, and you continue hearing a lot of labored breathing, and it sounds like somebody in extreme pain. And she keeps calling for somebody named Billy, and saying that I don't need the doctor. We'll just do this like my mom did.
She will click over to the actual communications channel that we've been using. Like, do we know anybody named Billy?
Stottle shakes his head. Billy with an H or Billy with a Z?
Hang on, I'll check. No, I don't know. We came over the radio. Billy with a crying something or other with Billy that might be looking for a doctor. That Billy?
I don't know anybody. Never here. This is kind of deeper into their territory than I like to go.
Oh, not our problem, man.
All right. What do you mean, crying person though?
Oh, yeah. There's somebody who seems like they're in great physical and emotional pain, crying for the help of Billy, and hoping that it just come around and come save them. Don't care about a doctor showing up or not. It seems pretty imminently dangerous, but we don't know him, right?
The entire room kind of looks like they stop what they're doing and they just stare at Miko.
She's still outside. Yeah, she's talking over the radio.
Wait, no, you're talking
And
about the radio.
as she's talking, she's holding the skull in front of her like she's talking to the skull. This is the conversation that's happening here.
Yeah. But everyone in the room that's like listening to the radio kind of does that slow turn, like where the hell's Miko at? What channel is that on?
Like most of them, except for this one. Which is really kind of unfortunate because if they were to switch to this one, they'd probably hear all us talking.
Oh shit. I mean, did it sound like a trap or what does it sound like?
What does a trap sound like?
Hey, Aaron's gonna peek out from under the blanket, come out to over to Startle with the radio, and like, can I talk to Miko?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're outside, but sure. And he hands you the radio to talk to your friend.
Miko, can you like rebroadcast it to this?
As your voice comes over the radio, the skull's eye color will change from like blue to green. Like it's the new video. As you guys oh, Aaron's awake. Hi.
Can you like make that the sound you hear come over onto this thing?
I mean, I could act it out.
Do that then.
Okay. I will attempt to act out what I heard.
So you're gonna find, are you gonna find it again and start doing it?
Yeah.
It's what you'll get is Billy, please. I don't want to do this alone. You said we were in this together. Oh, it hurts so bad. Please.
And Aaron's just holding that radio up for the room to hear.
And Stoddle makes kind of a grimacing sound, and or not a grimacing sound. He makes a grimacing face, and he goes, it's either a trap or somebody's having a baby.
Well, it doesn't sound like a trap. That sounds kind of like dubstep, but with more digital high end.
Ha!
It doesn't sound like a baby because we'd be hearing hospital noises.
Well, we should go check, right? Do we know where they are? Miko, can you tell where they are?
I mean, not like.
Ask them where they are.
Oh, I guess I could do that. Hey, if I could get your attention here for just hi, we stumbled across.
Billy, have you seen him?
We're not really. Hang on, Billy with an H, Billy with a Y.
Billy Matson.
Do we know Billy Matson? Do we know that?
There's a head shaking going on.
Can I
Your
hear
skull
that?
shakes its head because that's apparently
Yeah,
the will
that's the
of
thing.
your
She's
planet.
going to look back toward the skull, which now has yellow eyes, because that's the one for talking to this particular person. No, I have established that we are certainly not with Billy.
Can I hear this?
Yeah, you can hear this over the because right now.
Well, so the thing is, she talked over the radio. She's not far away. She's like 10 feet out the window, putting sticks in the ground.
Bottle's basically cranking through things trying to find this radio station, and he will come up on it. And so if he suddenly gets the radio onto the thing, you can hear Miko talking in like stereo, basically, and the other person talking.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do I know a Billy Madsen, given that we are deep ass in spiral territory?
Give me a community perceived difficulty 0. Because you may, if you remember him.
Community perceive. And what was the skill?
0. It's for the perceives. It's just you add your exert score to it because it's just a physical stat kind of thing.
Okay, so you said difficulty 0?
Yep.
14.
All right.
Wow,
You
for
actually
just 2
do
straight
remember
dice,
a
that was
Billy
lucky.
Madsen, but you don't
Yeah, it is.
remember him for the reasons of spirals. He was a young alligator vector, and you remember that he went off with your dad.
What?
Because your dad was a member of the Seraphs before he went away. So you remember Billy Madsen being a Seraph. And whoever this is and him clearly are in the middle of spiral territory.
Okay, I'm gonna bring that up. It's like, hey, if it's I know a Billy Madsen, he's a Seraph.
What's that?
It's a gang. That's a gang that's not the Spirals, and we're in Spiral territory. Like bad in Spiral territory.
Well, I guess they shouldn't be here then, but we still gotta go help, right?
I'm sorry, this is starting to sound a lot like dubstep with a lot of digital high-end.
The girl on the line talking to Miko, because Miko, you said something to them. Are you with Parma? Are you from the street doc?
I'm with the. Oh man, I never found out the gang name.
Oh, it
Uh,
hurts.
well, stop doing what you're doing.
The rescuers, we're coming. We're coming. You can find her, right?
I mean, I think she's kind of in that direction.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's go.
I will attempt to discern what direction it's coming from.
It's about within the next mile, and you can I'm assuming you can kind of
No, it is like any radio. There is
it's
no.
body perceived. It's
Yeah.
body perceived. You said you're hearing it, right?
Yeah.
You hear it like you hear things, so body perceived. You gotta triangulate.
What's the difficulty?
points.
Yeah, with
Um,
so I have to single point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a mile away, and you're using radio waves.
Yeah. So if I run another half mile that way and see if it gets any fainter, I'll have a decent idea of which direction to go.
I know, but I'm just saying. For right now, you're trying to get more of a thing right now. From where you're starting at, we'll say difficulty 1.
Let's see about it perceive. Not having a whole lot of luck.
All right. I mean, northish, maybe northeast, maybe northwest.
I don't really have a whole lot. Can you describe your current location, and perhaps how we could get to it? Oh wait, hang on. I can just tell you where we are. We're at the.
No, Matt.
Oh, all right.
No.
Billy had me take cover in this. He said he was getting the doctor. It's an old apartment building. It's bright outside. I don't know why.
Is it like bright red?
Is it really hot? Ask her if it's really hot.
Is it really hot?
I'm in labor. Everything burns.
Well, stop. All right.
Nico, get off the channel.
She's being really difficult.
Starlo, I'm taking this. She said, Erin says away from the radio.
Look up. I don't have any up. And he watches it leave.
And Erin's actually just gonna, not even waiting for anyone else, is actually gonna head out, start bolting in that direction.
Alright, so Erin, as you go
Vaguely
outside,
northish.
you see this minefield covered in bones that are stuck straight up.
Oh shit.
And they're everywhere.
The path is marked. The path is marked.
Well, I mean, the path kind of is marked because those are safe places to go.
Yep. It's marked.
Yeah.
Well, Erin's Erin's gonna cautiously do a hippity hop over those anyway.
Well, did you come out the direction that I was? Because she'll just tell you, by the way, that's where the mines aren't.
Yeah, probably. That's
So as you come out, she's like, oh, I marked the spots where the mines aren't, so we can fool them. Like we totally were. Yeah, right. Wasn't that the
We were
plan?
supposed to do that when we left.
Well, I was trying to get a head start on it.
Erin will poke his head back in and go, guys, Miko's put the sticks where the mines aren't because that's helpful. So, just be careful. Just don't go outside.
Wait, so are you telling me one minefield is where they are and one minefield is where they aren't?
See, it's brilliantly confusing. They're never gonna know what hit them.
Stoddle has put his head so far into his hands.
In
He
fairness,
cannot see again.
that would be very confusing to them.
I'm so angry.
Miko, what way? What way?
Well, I mean, I don't really know, but she said
Let's
there was an
guess.
apartment that way.
Is that where the burning is?
There
Yeah,
is burning to the north, so
She said bright lights and tall buildings, so whatever.
That is bright.
That is.
Okay. Let's go, Fidget.
Alright.
Can I ride Fidget? How big is Miko?
Big enough to ride, but you would need well, you don't really need a saddle unless you're doing combat stuff.
It depends if Miko is like being kind about you riding Miko.
No.
Because-
Erin briefly looks at Miko with that what moment of wondrous thought before continuing.
As you look over, she slowly turns the skull toward you and cocks it as though curious.
Yeah, I was definitely not riding that. Erin's run becomes less I'm hurrying to the site of the emergency and more I've just been spooked.
I'm scared of the crazy dog now. So yeah, you start picking up the pace, kind of running ahead of the devil dog, as it were.
He's following.
I will go along, but first I'm going to put the skull down. Stay here, Sheev. Guard the base.
Okay, so you put the you put down the skull to guard the base.
I'm gonna put it on top of one of the sticks over there. As she's
you guys
walking
take
away, it's gonna be like, "Take no prisoners, show no mercy."
You guys take off into the darkness. There's the.
Are Serena Media following?
Zuri
There it
is
was.
following.
Okay.
Zuri is in fact like coming up beside Miko. Gonna say, hey, Fidget. Sorry, Miko. I have 2 questions. First, how do you have a baby outside of a hospital?
I'm telling you, this is all really overblown.
I can't remember my breathing. How do you breathe?
Use the rest. God, it's right next to you. Put it over your face.
This is I don't even
This isn't beautiful. I fucking hate you, Billy. Billy, I hate you. You did this to me.
So they're all running off
Yeah.
on this adventure.
Yeah.
Amelia's just like, no, this is.
It's a terrible idea.
Stoddle looks over at Amelia and goes, "No, stop." And he just kind of throws his hands up in a shrug.
It's like, I'm gonna go get him. So first thing I'm gonna run to the barn where
You mean the garage?
yeah, where what did we say his name was?
Zuko.
Sparky.
Sparky.
Can we go back to Zuko?
No,
Oh.
for copyright infringement reasons, we're calling him Sparky because even though he was the fire fox, as I would point out, because he was a fox that you did this to, you monster.
Guilty.
So now will forever be a fire fox. I believe that before that, Amelia had said they wanted their name to be Sparky, so it's Sparky.
Yeah.
Better than Ash.
Well, give it time.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in there.
There's a gout of flame in your general direction as you come in. Get the fuck back out. I don't want to see you right now.
I haven't found my honor yet.
I am so pissed.
It's like,
And
hey,
I can't stop being pissed.
hey, can I? Let me talk for just a second, okay?
He is occasionally picking things up and just smashing like stuff against the wall because you can tell he's having he's sweating because he seems to be very stressed and very on edge.
This is the best guy to bring to a live birth. I don't know why we didn't think of this sooner.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a ball.
Let me boil some water.
Who needs water? It's like, I'm sorry, I was a dick. Like I don't have any right yelling at you guys, treating you like you're just another, bunch of these kids.
He is not really making eye contact with you. You can tell he is very deliberately trying to keep facing away because every once in a while the fire just rolls out. Like he is you feel like there's a little commiseration right now because you're having a struggle as well. You know?
Yeah.
And you unfortunately your feeling of commiseration is being amplified. Because you're like, I feel you, man. I know your pain. Right?
I'm like really trying to make not acid happen.
Yeah, you're trying to really not make the acid happen, but he is losing his battle and the fire is coming out a lot. And he has actually melted a good portion of the one side of the garage. You can tell because he's just been every once in a while roaring and yelling there.
Yeah, like I'm sorry that I shoved you. That was bullshit. And you got every right to be mad. And I'm sorry I yelled at you like you don't know what's going on.
And his friends are kind of hanging out near the doorway, and you can feel one of them's like getting closer to you, and then saying, "Back away slowly. I think he's gonna erupt again."
It's like, dude, just go find a shoe.
The guy they just give you the weirdest look because they don't understand what you mean.
One of them got his leg blown off.
Oh.
And when he came back, he was just like, "Man, I wish I had a boot for this." So I was just like,
Yeah.
"Dude, just go find a shoe."
Look, man. Don't rile him up anymore. Let's just let him figure it out. He gouts some more flame and he punches a wall.
I was like, "Nah, this is my fault. If something happens, I fucking deserved it." And I'm just gonna kind of like walk towards him slowly, and just like, "Hey, I heard that you need something to do, like something to put this energy towards."
One of the guys runs out of the room really quick, or from the doorway, and your friend Sparky kind of puts his two hands on a kind of like a work table on the edge where they would normally have tools and stuff hanging. Everything's pretty melted right now, and not really useful tools anymore. And he goes, "I just want to hurt everyone down here forever. Everyone."
Man, this dude had some issues beforehand.
He did actually.
It'd be a perfect match.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sometimes a perfect match is not the best idea, though. I think that's what we're seeing here right now.
Listen, I only had a few moments to plan this out before I just jumped on it without thinking. So, like,
This doesn't seem like a chocolate and peanut butter situation.
I calculated the odds of this plan working versus the chances I was making a horrible mistake, and I went ahead anyway.
Yeah, look at right there, breach hole, everyone dies.
Yeah, breach hole will die. Even had an underline.
And then I'm just like, look, uh, these people I'm supposed to be taking care of, they just ran off, and I'm pretty sure they're running into a dumbass trap.
I don't care.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. If it's a dumbass trap, then there's people there. Probably spirals.
It actually gets noticeably hotter because you're closer to him now,
Yeah.
and you can feel the room temperature rising. Um,
It's got to be better than just sitting here, right, man?
and at this point, Stottle is at the door, and he's kind of ushered the other two away, and he's gonna call in your direction. Hey, Amelia, Sparks, come on, shake it out, shake it off, let's get it over with. Come on, we gotta go. Stop brooding in here and get your ass out of here. I gotta roll some dice.
I'm just like, come on, man, seriously, I want to help. I mean, I don't know what you're feeling, but I know what this thing's doing to me.
This
And
is
I
because
don't like it.
I have a stream going, so I need to. Oh shit. He turns, and I'm going to need you to roll a I believe it's reflex still, right? Or wait, what is it? Agility or
To do what?
like versus a flamethrower.
Oh, what if
Yeah.
to dodge it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficulty 2.
All right, so that's +1 for every 10 in my
10.
dodge.
Yeah, 10 in your evade.
Evade.
So it's probably a +1
okay.
because I think I'm the
Yep,
dodgiest
it
person
sure
we
is.
have except for Aaron. Nope. That's gonna sting.
So that's 9.
Yep. And that's even worse. Okay. Well, Stottle's at the not just behind you, but he's gonna get hit too. I would say we're poking the bear here, but really it's the firefox that we're poking. Okay. 2d10.
Yep, and a roll on the fire EDA.
What does is it, the BA is? I don't think 9 will do enough damage to hurt you. Probably.
What does it have to exceed? My
Endure.
I
Endure,
think,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
It's
my
mostly
my
whether or not
endure.
you get ignited or not, which let me get to the right page for it. Do 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 do. Capacity. Okay. Here we go. Fire damage. Characters contact constantly burning hex or fire source. Roll a dodge save, difficulty 1 to see if you catch on fire. So just roll another save.
Alright.
Same thing as before.
Yeah, difficulty 1 this time. No, you are ignited. Ignited characters take 1 wound at the end of each of their turns until extinguished. So he catches you.
Okay.
You take a wound and will have to stop, drop, and perhaps roll.
He also ignites Stottle. But the sickening feeling goes off in the pit of your stomach as you hear a high-pitched whine, and that's when
no.
happens. The fuel tank was on that wall.
Oh no. Sam, why? Sam, why are you killing characters?
Quick, donate more to the Kickstarter or
Sir.
she's gonna kill us all.
Sam!
I am going to say Stottle is going to be engulfed in fire.
Sam! He was already kind of having a tough time, and this isn't going to help his skin condition.
Stottle wasn't looking great before. I mean, as I recall, you guys have seen Stottle. He's He's not the most attractive of vectors.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. Yeah, Subtle wasn't a great looking guy. But it happens in a blinding flash, and I'm going to say, I'm not going to give you probably a reflex for this one, because I'll give you. Go ahead and take your reflex. I'm not giving Stottle one though. He's unfortunately a cripple and couldn't move very well anyway, because he had the whole leg issue where he could barely move.
If
So,
like I hear this noise, is that like I'm gonna be dodging because that's like clicking in my head, right?
yeah, so you can roll your dodge save for that.
Is
you
there
can yell.
any way for me to like try to grab him and like?
You basically approached the other guy, and Stottle was over by the kind of the doorway next to the thing.
Okay, so he's way too far for me to
He's
like.
probably
try to
too far.
push him
He's too
over.
far away for you as a reflex to get him.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the difficulty on this?
We're just gonna for where you're at. I'm probably gonna count it as a hotspot. So let's just see what's the.
Oh, that's no concern.
It's not too terrible.
Where he's at, it's gonna be a hotspot. Where actually, it will be higher damage. It'll be like automatic 2 wounds probably. But yeah.
You should use the full collision table.
Yeah, use it like a. I mean, you might as well do
we'll
some
use the
damage
full-
to it.
Exploding
we'll
fuel
use
is no joke.
Yeah, this is true. What page is that on, Zvi?
Well, on 1-4, it's 154. Which is probably the same on yours, because I don't think there was a new page.
I did download it.
Okay.
While we were talking. All right. So I need to figure out what the save then would be. I'm gonna say this explosion. I'd probably put it at a 2 or a 3, because I mean this is some pretty serious shit. Let's put it at 3. So do your reflex on.
Do your dodge save at difficulty 3.
All right. So that's against my body.
Body exert, and you're getting the bonus for your evasion score.
Evade.
Okay.
That's the word I've been missing all night. Evade. Unfortunately, Sam playtested another game recently, and it changed her mind.
Yeah.
She doesn't know words anymore.
That's a 10 for me.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I think that you're gonna get caught in it. Probably be. I should say heavy damage on this.
Do it.
I'm gonna say heavy damage. It is a gas. It is the thing. All right, 5 wounds.
Yikes.
All right, so you take 5 wounds. He is also going to take damage.
Watch him take 1.
He takes a lot, and he goes down.
Oh no!
From the explosion.
Oh no!
He goes down from the explosion. But Stottle just disappears in flame for a minute as the explosion kicks off, and everyone outside, there is a sudden boom, and that whole garage suddenly is just alight. There's a big fall. Part of the roof is gonna cave in. From that one corner where the gas tank was, because it basically big pieces of this metal shrapnel is going to go flying through the air, and just it's like these beautiful red missiles that go through the darkened sky, or lack of sky as it were, just kind of peeling off in the distance. You hear them crash and smash into a nearby house or building of some sort, and there's just smoke pouring out, and there is screaming from all the kids and the other people inside the building.
Are we still close enough to hear any of this, or if we
Yeah,
already
you guys were starting to walk down the street. You guys were probably at the end of the street when this happens.
Oh, someone didn't look at the sticks.
Oh no. That's not mine.
It sounded a bit big for a mine, didn't it?
Well, considering we can probably see the fucking building itself going.
The building's on fire, and like I said, after the explosion was going, you could still see this bit of red trailing through the sky like a missile that had gone up through the roof of that building.
Billy's friend, we're gonna have to take a rain check on you for just a moment here.
Why don't you guys go for her?
Because, you really shouldn't be running all the way across town on your own?
No, you guys go for her.
Oh, okay. That would make more sense.
Would it?
Split the party, yeah.
Ah,
all right.
go.
I mean,
And Erin's gonna turn back.
what are you gonna do to? I'm not a.
I'll fix them.
We're gonna heal the ball.
Oh, that's a good plan. She's got this. She
Alright,
got. Come on,
Amelia,
Zuri.
you're
Come
kind of
on.
stumbling, getting to your feet. Everything around you is on fire. There's smoke. Everything is hot. It is dizzying. It hurts because that was a lot of wounds all of a sudden.
I'm immediately like trying to find Stoddle.
All right. Give me a body perceive. I'm gonna say difficulty 2. There's a lot of fire, everywhere, and there's also the fact that the building has partially collapsed because some of the roof has come down.
Okay. Say body perceive.
Mhm.
What'd you say the difficulty was?
2.
Okay.
You look where you think he was.
Well,
So
what's your add on that?
Yeah.
I think it's +2.
Okay, so 12.
All right. You look where you think he was, and you start digging. There's fire and smoke everywhere. There's a lot of crying and screaming from the building across the way. A lot of kids are being huddled behind the older children, and they're like, don't look, don't look, don't look. And they see you start digging, and Aaron, you'll come running up about then as you see Amelia just pulling away at this burning rubble pile. Your iguanid hybrid hands are covered in black and burning, Amelia, as you pull back and you find the crumpled body, or what's left of it, of Stoddle.
And I'm just hoisting him up on my shoulder and like, and just like dragging him towards her.
All right. So you grab him and start dragging him out. More fire is starting to drop down from the roof, landing into where the vehicle bay was. Some more of the roof is starting to just kind of cave away. The walls are kind of going up for what left there was. There is an intense chemical smell from the burning fuel, and there's a lot of smoke. It's very hard. Your eyes are watering. It's very painful. And Amelia is suddenly pulling this body out to you, Aaron.
Erin is rushing over, and can I see who the body actually is? Like, how badly?
It's bad. It's bad. You couldn't tell from one side.
Okay.
But you recognize the bulged and disfigured face on the other. The pretty side got taken.
Erin is rushing over. Was there anybody else?
It was like right now he's all that matters.
Erin is going to fall down to his knees over Stoddle's body and put his hands on Stoddle.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I'm gonna also continue carrying him like away from the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're gonna start carrying him away from Erin doing her thing. All right, Erin, what is this big change?
Right. Basically, I have a pool of wounds, and I can put as many as I want into a target. And they regenerate over my wound count for the savior regenerates every hour, but I can just pour a bunch into him. Now, if he's missing limbs or such, I can regenerate them at a higher cost of wounds.
Okay.
Or
All right.
whatever.
Page 246.
Healing from a savior can likewise revive people who've been reduced to 0 wounds in combat, as well as to treat their injuries as a hospital would.
Now, it can't bring people back from the dead.
Yeah, if
so
he's dead.
If he's dead, then there's nothing she can do about it. But if there's anything left, she can.
Real quick question.
Yep.
Are we on beta 1.3?
1.4.
Damn it.
All right. I'll be honest. I'm gonna leave this to the dice to decide.
Sam, never do that.
I know. We're gonna let the dice decide if he's alive or dead.
Yeah, but after that, can I re-roll the dice?
Do you have any focus?
No.
Hang on.
I asked the dice, and they said he's still alive.
Actually,
Yes,
there is a mechanic for this.
I know. I would actually like to know. I was trying to find the mechanic, but I couldn't find it readily.
Hang on just a second. I will get it. Here we go. Page 118.
I was on 122, so I was close.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful picture. Rescues.
I'm trying to see if I actually wrote it in there or not, because this was something that I was considering writing in, but I might have decided not to for fear of exploit.
Rescuing an NPC.
Yeah, rescuing somebody else.
All right. I will say, even if it's not a thing, I would allow somebody to burn a rescue to save Stoddle. Otherwise, I'm rolling the dice.
I would 100% do that.
You would use your rescue to save Stoddle?
From the perspective of the character I'm playing.
Yeah. Because that would be pretty destructive to you right now, probably.
Yes, it would. It would be very bad.
Yeah, it's not like I was going to saddle you with this entire mercenary organization that you would suddenly become important in.
Oh, there. Yeah, I think I didn't put it in there for fear of exploit, but
All right,
well,
but I will say, because I think it's in spirit.
Mhm.
This is a major NPC that you guys have cared about. I will let
Now,
Amelia use it.
Amelia, I mean, if you get caught in the next explosion, you're gonna be down. You're not gonna have this around, so.
So
Noted.
Alright, so I mean, somebody else could use theirs on
Now,
you.
how about?
Why don't we
I think
wait till
could use
Sam
one of
rolls the
theirs.
dice? You know, maybe the dice gods will favor us.
Well, I was also going to make a cheeky breaky suggestion of maybe the person who's going to have the hardest time dying should use their rescue.
This is also true.
Fair enough.
So, Sam, tell us what the fates decide.
I'm not going to stand in your way.
He only has a 10% chance of survival, so
Which 10?
1 to 10. He would have
Nope.
died.
Okay.
I will use my rescue.
I feel like that situation was kind of,
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I will use my rescue, and I'd like to favor this, like Aaron, puts his.
Aaron's digging deep.
Digging deep
Dip down.
Deep
Yeah.
down.
Dip down.
No,
Alright,
Aaron,
by
it's
the way-
spoiling.
Anybody watching the stream has not watched our versus the Force people. You should do that and then continue watching our stream. Okay.
Also, donate to the Kickstarter.
There's that one too.
Donate to the Kickstarter. Remember, always the Kickstarter is there for you. It cares.
This is the sad part. Aaron's like, I'm dipping for the chunks, and there's literally chunks of bodies sitting here that are on.
Now, are any of his limbs actually missing?
There probably are. I'll admit there probably
How
are, 'cause
many?
his head was taking some pretty bad damage. Let's roll on the damage. Where's he gonna take some wounds or some serious body injuries? Seriously.
Well, I mean, you can
take
use the
one when you
damage
go down.
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the injuries.
It's at the end of adventuring.
All right. I'm going to roll 3d10.
Whew.
That was pretty bad. He should have died. Except for your thing, he would have died. So this is going to be a lot. So 6, 2, and 8.
All right, lost limb, broken limb, and blind.
All right. His eyes are burned. They are white in their sockets. One of them is pretty much gone because of the burning on the face. Limb. How do we decide what limb?
You just decide. I mean, you can flavor it to taste or randomize it or.
All right. How do we want to do this? Leg or I'll roll a d4. 1, 2 are left leg, right leg.
Yeah.
And then 3, 4 is right arm, left arm.
Mhm.
Leg, left leg.
Well, okay.
He lost left leg. He is blind, and his other limb is going to be broken. We'll roll for that. Which unfortunately you'll heal it, bro. Oh, it's the same one, so it's fine. It's over there.
Okay.
You find it.
Right. So
Kind of hard.
regenerating the limb will cost me 5 wounds. I'm gonna say regenerating the ice is probably the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 10 wounds. And then I'm going. How many wounds can I pour into him? What's his wound count?
He is actually a character, so he has 12 wounds.
12 wounds. Okay. But he went down from 7.
No, that 7 was the other guy. I said he
Oh,
just went
okay.
down. Stoddle
Okay.
just went. He was right next to the thing. I was saying Stoddle was going.
There are other people there that
this-
need your healing hands. You don't need to bring them all the way up.
Yeah. Aaron will pour 10 wounds in to regenerate his sight and his limb, and then another 5 wounds to just try and get him stabilized and maybe not quite so crispy.
15 wounds?
Yep.
How do you do that?
It's got a pool
I
of
have
20.
a pool of 20.
She only gets 1 hour, 1 back an hour, so the pool does
Okay.
not refill
All right,
quickly.
so you see like the most magical things start to happen as this leg starts to go to like Deadpool baby leg coming out of burnt stub of Stoddle, and the eyes start to kind of knit back together. The face is still horrifically, and he's burns all over now. But you see him start to kind of twitch and move again, Amelia, where you saw his breathing had looked like it stopped. And there is a wheeze, but he is unconscious. Thankfully unconscious, mostly from pain. But the fire is kind of roaring outside in the garage now.
Do we have any means to deal with that?
Somebody had found a fire retardant system. I believe the name was Zuri, but I don't know what Zuri did with it, and I don't know if you remember either.
I think you set it on a table when you were done, didn't you?
Yeah. So you probably see it, and everyone's like all huddled around watching Aaron do magic on Stoddle, while you're like going, oh wait, there's a fire, guys. But you see it across the way on the table. And you're completely quiet if you're saying anything.
Amelia, did you just disconnect?
Tygon?
Uh,
Is it?
No,
are you
Tygon's not
talking to
here.
me, or-
Yeah, we're talking to you. Tygon went with me to go
Oh,
with
Yeah.
the pregnancy thing.
I got confused.
Yeah.
Your
No.
name isn't
Oh.
Amelia.
Okay, I will get the thing and start doing that.
All right, so you'll grab it off the table and strap it on real quick and start spraying away using what is left of the foam to put out the fire. It will take you several minutes. Meanwhile, Stoddle is stabilized, and a lot of the kids are like looking at Aaron in a completely different way. Like Aaron might be the equivalent of HSD Jesus right now.
Hobos, listen to my word.
Stoddle kept her from us.
And one of them kind of like sidles up against Aaron. It's a young boy. You know his name's. You've heard him talking. His name's Pete, and he goes, I always knew you were special.
I'm not special.
You're a wizard at it.
Do you want some of my food?
No, you keep your food.
I'd give you some. My mom can't walk so good. Could you?
Oh no. Maybe I can see your mum later.
Okay.
Oh no.
Hey, they have no health care down here.
They're gonna be lining up.
The others are kind of like looking around. They have a very flat look on their face, so they go over and they'll start helping you, Amelia, kind of tossing everything around, and eventually you will find a corpse of a Sparks in the other building.
What did he die from?
Explosion. The concussion of 7 damage. He only had 3 wounds.
Oh, even he's half damage. Couldn't protect him there.
Yeah. Because I was treating him like my minions, so he didn't make it through that. So he went down. He didn't get burned at all though, so he's fire free. And there's a pulsing little thing there that's starting to look around.
I was
So I'm
gonna get
assuming
out,
it
like,
detaches from the dead body.
do what?
I'm assuming it would detach from the dead body.
It's kind of up to you on how you want to, because you provided them free of charge.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be functionally it's an item. The item doesn't technically get destroyed when the body goes down. So
Yeah, I'm saying it
Yeah.
will detach, and it's kind of slugging its way around right now on the floor, and everyone is backing away from it like it is the plague.
It's
Because
like nobody touched that.
fuck, do we just smack shit with a hammer or something?
Like, give me one of those jars.
Yeah, one of the guys will run over and grab a jar. Luckily, you don't know this, but you can't get another one because you have one. So
I'm just gonna like rip off part of if he has like any jacket or anything.
it's his body is not burned. His clothing's a bit charred.
Well, he might be a little singed himself. He takes half damage from fire.
Yeah, he might be a little singy at this point. He's cooked enough. Miko wouldn't mind.
No.
There are pieces of metal and bent things.
cannibalism.
I'm gonna pick it up with something.
Yeah. You kind of scrape it onto a piece of hot metal that you grab, and you can kind of slide it into the jar, and its little pseudopods come out. And I mean, the other ones were vaguely kind of cute, but you might have a different feeling about this one because it may have killed your friend, and it may nearly cost you your mentor, maybe.
Are the other two okay?
They look fine. They're a little burnt around the edge of the fur, but Stottle had made them leave the room because Stottle was kind of hoping he would just slap you guys and you'd be like, okay, or you'd explode. One of the two would happen, and
Well, good news, Tuttle. You're correct.
yeah. So Stottle is unconscious, and they're all tending to him, and by the way, Amelia doesn't look so good.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, Erin's going to, after she's stabilized a little bit, she's going to see if anybody there knows how to treat him normally.
One of the kids will raise their hands. It is a bright-eyed little squirrel vector. Yeah, my name is Cynthia, and I know first aid.
Okay,
I
you look after
sew.
him. Just look after him, okay?
Yeah.
And she's going to.
And she's gonna do this thing where she literally like sits on the balls of her feet, and she's like crouched down, hugging her knees, staring at him.
So this is
And
going to
tail
end with
every
her
once in a while just
like,
twitches.
kissing the
But
boo-boo is what's
But
going to
even
happen
though
here.
she's kind of got this little stutter thing, you can tell like every once in a while she like reaches over, puts her hand against his like, like she was feeling for a pulse, and she's like listening to his breathing, and she looks like she's actually attentively doing the right things. It's just she's very creepy about it.
I have to go AFK for a bit because puppy. So Erin's going to go out and heal Amelia.
Take
My
a
last 5.
bathroom break if you want to.
Yeah, why don't we take a 2-minute break? Potty break.
If I'm not back before then, continue without me. You know what Erin would do.
Okay.
Alright. So we are doing a 2-minute bathroom break for the majority of the people. I'm gonna just go back over here to this. and remind everybody about the HSD Kickstarter, because it's just a beautiful thing, and there's just so much you can get involved in with this. You can just make the future great for HSD. You know, we can even start the video. Let's start the video.
There are 12 billion in this solar system. Rare something happened that changes us all. This different. It will hit us wave, bring us and cover in time to look up. It is a form.
That video is so good.
It really is.
What?
Video is so good.
Oh, isn't it? It's like amazing. I don't know what possessed them to do that, but it's great. I love it. I actually like would legitimately like donate just so we can get more of those. I was like thinking like I want to just kind of grab Zev on the side and go, so the Kickstarter's great and I love the Kickstarter, but after the Kickstarter, if you want to do more of those or get more of those done, I would like to see little blurbs of the story, because I'm like completely wrapped up in the fact I want to know who the hell that guy is that the quote's from. That Cassius guy, or
Cassius Scale.
Cassius Scale. I want to know who that
Oh,
is, because that is a tasty bit of lore I don't know, and Sam knows a lot of lore. And I mean, that's something I would just kill to find out who is this guy, because I can tell this is clearly going to be a Mars-Go Pulse fight, and it is right on the cusp of, I mean, Luna or Earth, right? You can see it clearly in the background.
Yeah.
That Zeb
Definitely.
wouldn't show that unless it was there, right? And we've had some storylines dealing with, from games that he's run for the tests and things, where they kind of allude that forces are trying to go there for something. So it's like, and we also know, people, there are spoilers that come from Sound and Silence, which is another wonderful HSD product that I think you could get from the Kickstarter. So Sound and Silence has some amazing tidbits about Earth, and I'm just gonna like throw it up here. I'm gonna like be like, hey, look at the books, guys. Wave it around a little bit on Twitch. All right, but Sound and Silence has some really interesting information about various groups that want to take ships to Earth. And I want to know if it's related to that or if it's something else. But those are clearly all pulse ships. And I would have expected the group going there to not be uniformly one group. So I'm curious. We'll see who it is. Because I want to know, what are they doing? And I mean, if Marsco is on the side to stop Pulse, who else is on Marsco's side? Or is it just the two of them? Because I would imagine this would be a multi-faction battle. Because nobody wants anybody touching things on Earth. Because, I mean, the ramifications of doing something to the Spire, as somebody who it doesn't know much in universe, sounds terrifying. I mean, people like just driving by the Spire in ships suddenly burst into whispers days later. So imagine people going to war at the Spire and possibly knocking chunks of the Spire loose. They would go all around the solar system. And that would really mess with everything, because the path that, all the ships are taking, they are currently detouring around a big berth of the Earth to avoid these whisper outbreaks. So that's pretty terrifying, you know. So at least I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam's an addict and really loves the setting more than she probably should.
I return.
But hi, I wasn't
Welcome
at
back.
all talking about your Kickstarter,
Oh,
right, guys? Everyone knows.
it's a shame. Could you talk about my Kickstarter? It'd be nice if we could get that going.
Well, I was just mentioning how a certain person was seen on a Marsco ship facing off against all those Pulse people, and how I really wanted who this Cassius Kale, is that the name?
Mhm.
Is because I don't recognize the name from anything in universe, so
He
I've
has
just
not been previously mentioned. He has been previously shown, interestingly enough, but there was no name tag attached to it.
mhm. Now I'm really wanting to know who he was.
Well, I mean, there
I'm
doesn't
not good.
need to be terribly secret necessarily. There's actually a few things that are kind of important going into that, depending on which pieces you've read. There's a little blurb in Core Extended toward the end of the book that shows Europa and the Spire attached to it, wherein somebody is saying, or no, it's the shot for one of Mars's capitals, and somebody that is saying that what's really going to matter here is where Marsco decides to side on the attack of the Spire, because at the moment they hadn't weighed in. You will note that apparently they have weighed in.
Yes, they have apparently weighed in, and that was like the thing is like clearly Marsco is on the side of no, you're not doing the assault on the Spire, which I mean I will say most of my characters in universe would probably think assaulting the Spire is a really dangerously dumb idea because they have no idea how that Spire works and what would happen if bits of it start floating around the solar system. It's like, guys, we don't know. Penny, of course, would think this was interesting and maybe we should try it, but she's also really not somebody I want in charge of the universe.
There's other little stuff in there too. The old Marsco logo is on top of the. You can see it etched in the armor, but the armor itself has a cat face that's facing forward. That same blurb mentions that Marsco periodically changes its icons depending on how active it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't usually see both eyes open unless the company is beginning to move.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, that's really interesting. See, that's really interesting little tidbits of lore that I'm really excited about. I was basically saying that after the Kickstarter, like, I would be, like, severely tempted to be like, so I'm just gonna, like, slip you money and be like, can we get another video?
I'd like to do one. We had a fun time. I mean, they're a little pricey. I tried to put a bunch of Easter eggs in it. There's the little scratch stuff into the side of the gun. If you look at, or on the side of phase armor, if you look at it, there's some text that's scratched into there, and little bits here and there for stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, essentially, it is a prelude toward a more solar system wide conflict that will hopefully come out in the course of contracts.
Yeah, and I'm can't wait to hear more of that because I think that will be just oodles of fun and exciting and way more interesting than what I'm putting you people through.
Well,
Hey guys, you want to be in the mud and have some explosions?
I like the mod.
Yes,
But yeah.
100%.
See, I don't know, Sierra Mike, what Bep would think. I think Bep would think that Bep needs a better box.
But
And
likely would.
Box Mom is best.
Yes.
Alright,
Cassius is actually the grizzled-looking rabbit that was featured in Core Extended originally.
Oh, really? I thought he looked like he'd be a character.
Yeah.
And so he is.
He is. He's somebody that Faerun has known for a long time. They're not particularly friendly with each other.
Well, that's fine. I at least know one other character that knows Faerun and isn't my family disposition. I'm saying the sad thing is like I could see Essel like she's going to be on the side of okay, this is dumb, don't do it, Pulse, you're dumb, but at the same time she'd be like, so I get to fight Faerun openly. No, still dumb. No, still dumb. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Damn it. She's also my least friendly character for crazy spook stuff at this point. She just does not like. Alright. Oh yeah, there's a question here from
Yeah, I'm answering
Astralin.
it.
Oh,
Just a second.
I can actually show that off.
Yeah, if you scroll down to right before the place that explains the backer rewards, you'll see bonus pack A and bonus pack B listed
They're
there.
right here.
Yeah.
I'm showing them on the stream.
Basically, the stretch goals unlock things that you can get attached to your rewards without having to pay anything extra for. So the further we get into the stretch goals, the more stuff you're actually getting for your reward.
Yeah. So those would be the extra things.
Yeah.
Like bonus pack A has the
The
original
contract PDFs all the way down to the end, and the new one if that one gets made, and then pack B's got a bunch of physical stuff in it.
It's like soft covers rather than PDFs and things. But yeah, it's pretty cool. No, it's okay. I mean, that happens to me all the time when I'm looking at Kickstarters. Except when I get distracted by this awesome picture by Disney of this person falling through the street into crazy land.
I love that.
It's such a beautiful Wonderlandy picture, right? Because it's just like,
yeah.
the street has taken me. Goodbye. I like how there's like a little pulse shop across the street there called Flex. People were there to see that.
So the 59 was literally because her friend made level 59 in WoW.
No, it
Oh
wasn't in
my
WoW.
God.
You're incorrect. It was in Black Desert.
Oh, okay.
But they were playing an MMO and they got to 59 during the course of the streaming of it, and they'd been grinding for weeks because it's a really bad grind, and they'd been grinding forever, and they got to 59, and there was like this big yay, you did it, and they hadn't done the sign for there, and they're like, here, it's immortalized. And they're like, and it's sci-fi setting, so it could mean anything. But I like that little Easter egg actually. We are so close to that next goal, guys. Just $500 more. I'm sure just anybody could slap that down without a care in the world. Shifty eyes. I mean, come on. It's just like, don't pay your rent for a month.
How bad could it be?
But there's some beautiful stretch goals here.
I have been looking for something to mortgage my future.
I mean, I think there's still some $500 things left, right? There's at least one backer image for the back cover left. No, it's no longer available.
Is it?
Yeah, somebody got
Yeah,
it.
those are gone.
No, that was there earlier, but now it is gone. Oh, and the featured art is currently gone, but I know from previous Kickstarters that sometimes more of those open up. Sometimes.
There's
You could hire Zev to DM for you, and there is do not get the party starter. Sam needs no one to get for personal reasons.
You know, it's funny. That's what I originally planned on getting.
Mhm.
I was just gonna throw copies of HSD at my friends, just like, learn this fucking game. Look, here's the book. It's free. You have no excuse.
You have no excuse. No,
I'm alright with that.
I
This
have
seems
a lot
like
of
an
friends
okay
that-
plan to me.
I mean, it's great, but I need
There's
not
still
a
one
lot of...
featured mini left.
Yeah, there's a featured mini left, because I think what happened is earlier someone gave up their featured mini slot so they could steal the back cover image, which is really awesome. So it's very fun to get those done. But okay, I will stop playing with that for right now because I'm fiddling with the Kickstarter website and things.
Return to the
We'll return to game. I know Allie is still out with her puppy, so we're just going to assume that Allie is under GM control and she is going to follow Amelia wherever
Sounds like
Amelia
enough.
goes.
We go to the landmines. The landmines.
Landmines.
I just want to point out, like,
I do is explosives right now.
yay. I feel like the last couple of minutes of this is like watching a PBS.
Don't.
And this fantastic reward if you call in now.
Oh.
Oh,
I feel even worse.
Now I feel bad about this. You know,
Yeah.
Hey,
we
PBS is awesome. Support public television.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but
great.
that wasn't the
Half the
PBS
That's
top
about
telecast.
HSD
That was the.
first, okay?
I guess it's better than like
This is
the.
yeah. This is right now. This is public television.
Come buy this this lovely brooch, you know, thing. QVC?
Alright.
Is it QVC?
Yeah, QVC.
QVC
This is
was the
QVC. We're interrupting like a made-for-nature TV Hallmark movie
yeah
with QVC.
QVC.
Would you like to have this movie on DVD? You could.
It could be worse. We could be advertising for NPR.
We could.
This is-
All right.
But we're
So,
not.
Miko and
Zuri.
Miss Zuri.
Yeah.
I like to say Missouri because it sounds like Mrs. Zuri. All right, so Miss Zuri.
Right
You
there in
guys
the middle
take
of this.
you guys take off running, using only Miko's sense of stellar direction from that amazing roll from earlier, which I'm assuming Miko will do more rolls as they're talking and do stuff. So I will say, do it again. Do a body perceive with difficulty 0 this time,
Here we go.
because as you get closer, it will get easier.
Oh, son of a!
How did you?
So close. So
All right,
close.
I mean, you've
I mean,
got
I had
it.
no reason to change direction. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep on going
Alright,
toward
so
the
you
fire
keep
and the
going in that
buildings.
direction, and then it feels like suddenly it's starting to get quieter. You didn't quite figure out which way you were supposed to go, unfortunately. You have to backtrack a bit, and she sounds like she's in some intense struggle right now.
All right, I have good news. I have established the correct direction.
Are you telling that to Zuri or
Yes.
the person on the radio?
Missouri,
All right.
Okay, which direction is it?
the other direction.
Oh,
Back the way you came.
But you know, on the upside, we'll get to check to see on the explosion.
Yeah, you are much closer to the fire now, which you can tell from this vantage has probably engulfed about 6 buildings.
That seems like something we should avoid. I'm
Mhm.
gonna start heading off in that direction. No, wait,
direction
sorry.
of the fire?
There
if
was
it keeps
another
spreading,
mission.
it's going to get hard to avoid.
All right, go back the other way. Let's go back
Yeah.
and past
All
Stottle's
right,
camp.
try again. This time you have a -1 to your difficulty.
Doesn't-
There is rules for that.
Well, you said it was
They
0
are.
already.
It was 0, so it's -1, right?
No, if it goes below 0, you just don't roll for it.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll make you do 0 again then. I thought there were rules for doing a -1. Damn it.
No, I mean if you have simplifications and the like that take it
I'll
below
say
0,
if you
just
fail,
don't
you
roll.
fail again, you'll waste more time, but then you'll automatically get it sometime after that.
Well, good
because-
news, Sam.
All right, so Zuri, basically Miko looks like they're bad at figuring things out for a little while, and they take you so far one way and then go, oh no, I was wrong, the other way, and after probably about it would take you probably about 45 minutes, probably less than 45, but I'm trying to figure about greater to an hour of this person screaming on the radio at you. It's a mile. You guys were about a mile out. It shouldn't have taken that long to get there. But it got worse, and you guys realized that, oh yeah, there is only 2 apartment buildings in that area that you keep circling through, and you narrow it down to the right building, and you find that it is barricaded in the front and the back.
We get there before like any of the bad dudes do. It's like lucky.
I'm just saying, it's barricaded in the front and the back.
Maybe we can go in through a window.
Is there a window to be gone through?
They are boarded up, but you could probably try to force your way through.
I'm just gonna
Just maybe a window higher up.
ask on the side of this. So once we get there, we're in this apartment building. It's fairly obvious now that this is not a proper hospital facility, I would assume.
No, this is not. There's no power, it looks like.
Right. So like Miko's gonna stop on the outside of it and be like, I really kind of expected something a little more lit. What are we supposed to do when we get in there?
I have no idea.
Oh, please. Fuck, I want to punch Billy.
Well, I mean, I can't really solve the Billy problem unless you know where he went. But we've already wasted like
He
40
wants
minutes
to
coming
get
here.
the doctor.
Where's the doctor? Doesn't help me.
I don't know. he said there was supposed to be one nearby.
Okay. All right.
Where?
You know what? We're gonna
Where?
wing it. I got
Ask,
this.
ask, ask her where in the building she is.
Please, I don't want to do this
Are, are
alone.
are you in the part that's barricaded by a bunch of stuff?
Yes, I'm on the second floor.
So did you have some way for Billy to get past these barricades? Because we're kind of needing to do that.
What barricades?
I'm standing here in front of a bunch of, sticks and like
It does look like somebody kind of slapdashed it together.
it's kind of a rapid thing. Like somebody didn't really want me to get in, but maybe was in a hurry.
That Billy probably set that up. When
You know what? I think I got this.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to poke around and see if there's just a way through them.
I'm also trying to find them, by the way.
Yeah, I figure you're trying to find them.
All right.
I will say that Aaron has the radio and is every once in a while going, Fidget? Where
Uh,
are you
well,
guys?
we're at the apartments by the light thing. Yeah, you try to figure that one
Yeah.
out. That's all I got.
Yeah, so Amelia, it basically feels like you and Aaron have no help on your way there.
If you guys are going toward the
Yes.
fires, it's the wrong direction. I established that about 30 minutes ago.
But by happenstance, because Miko kept going the wrong way, you will see Miko and the other light show in front of an apartment building.
Oh.
But after Miko has started to open up this thing. So Miko, you found the building. You can start tearing into it. I'll say give me a body athletics to just snake your way through. Difficulty 0 because you're sneaky.
Plus, I believe I'm a
This
3
is
on
what
that.
what happens
Check.
when you have no focus.
I'm booted on that, so we'll go on a 10. Actually, I'm going to, instead of going on a 10, I've been rolling bad. I will go on a 10. Okay, I'm glad I don't have a 10. I wanted to make it cool, but
Yeah.
I've been rolling badly. Yeah, she'll get through.
All right, so you just kind of snake your way through, very slippery, between all the different little bits of it. It wasn't very well put together, but it looks like somebody was trying to make it look like this place was secure.
She's gonna stick her head through the door, long neck behind it, and grin and say, "I'm here to fix your pain."
Who are you saying that to?
Well, I assume she was on the other side.
She's on the second floor.
Well, I mean, she still says it. There's nobody there, and she waits for a minute for reaction and goes, "Oh, damn, that was perfect." Wiggles through. Hang on, let me go make sure this is the right place, the stairway.
Yeah, there is a stairway.
Okay, I think this is it.
There is a slick of blood as you go up the stairway.
Oh, that doesn't. It's not looking good though. It's not. Hang on just a second. Yeah, no, you should probably come. She will tell the folks on the other side.
Miko is filling you with all sorts of assurances right now. And about then, Amelia's going to come up behind you with Aaron in tow.
Hey, what happened with the big explosion?
I hope everybody's all right. Zuri says as she tries to follow Miko into the.
All right, give me an athletics check, difficulty 0.
Just yank all the stuff out of the way. I doubt he nailed it.
I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm gonna wait to see how this goes.
You're just gonna acid your way through, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, but first I'm gonna watch the replay.
You're gonna watch Zuri do it first.
Gee, thanks.
Amelia
Okay.
was taught ladies first, and you're the closest thing to a lady in this party because you actually have some manners.
That
And
is true.
the rest of these fine women don't.
And because I have manners, I feel obliged to tell you I have a athletics.
Oh no. He said fault in case they cut out for you too.
Oh no. So
What do you want to
yeah,
do, Sam?
I'm gonna increasing your difficulty.
Don't do that, Sam. Make it something. Make it something different. Sam, we're rolling bad.
Sam is not a merciful god. So Sam has chosen. Sam has chosen.
I just want that. I want that as like a whoa wow. Oh dear.
I think I'm
I would
stuck.
like to. I would like to point out, even if Sam was a merciful god, even if
That I'm so glad your camera's on right now.
that was great. That look of
That's
yeah.
just like, well.
Well, darn. Do you have any focus?
I don't think so.
Don't
Maybe
use it. You have a
one.
walking depth charge in your freaking party.
All
Let Amelia
right.
go
So
through it.
basically, what's gonna happen is Zuri starts to go through, but their wheels get caught, and suddenly Zuri's kind of stuck. And so Zuri's kind of got one foot wedged in between some boards, and has that sad look of, oh, now I'm stuck.
I'm
Mother
going
was
to
right. Should have gone for the maglet name.
Mhm.
I'm going to help Zuri out. Like gently
Using acid.
get her out. No.
Just, I mean, Zuri's mostly made of metal. They won't feel it a lot. They'll feel everything.
I'm going to politely, gently, get Zuri out, and then I'm just gonna pull stuff out of the way. And if it's too stubborn, I'm just gonna melt it.
All right.
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
I programmed to feel pain. All right, so you start pulling away at things, and anything that gives you any kind of resistance, you're just melting. And it's kind of a sight, Zuri. It's just this like, and you get like this pleasure center, Amelia, when you melt things. Like that feels good. Just let it go. Just like, yeah, take that wood. Yeah, take that metal.
I just make myself a pretty dress out of acid.
Yeah,
Oh, that was
pretty
nice of this
pretty
guy.
acid drippy.
Christopher just put in a pledge that would have taken us $11 below 2,000, and they tossed in the extra 11.
Aww.
So it's at 2,000 right now, or 20,000 rather.
Yay!
Yay, guys, we did it! And we
Woo!
did it. We did it as a result of my constant.
Thanks, Christopher, if you're watching
Thank
the stream,
Christopher for doing that.
for
That's
rounding the
awesome.
number out to 20K.
Yay.
Maybe they're like me and cannot abide.
Yeah, actually, it happens. I see it every time. I'll get somebody tosses in like $2 or $3 extra bucks just to get the number to be right at where they want it to be.
All right. Stretch
Hey,
goal
it's a bonus
2.
for you, right? But yeah, just look at that, guys. Look at how pretty that is. 20K.
It is pretty.
That is awful pretty.
So
I
that
just love showing
is
it on my
guide
screen.
screen inserts and fillable PDF.
Nice.
All right.
Lots of things in that. Okay, so Zuri and Aaron and Amelia are suddenly at the bottom of the stairwell with you. There is a slick of what seems to be blood at the bottom.
I'm getting my gun out, the big one. And just like, all right.
We had to
guys.
shoot people. We had to help somebody.
Just like, look,
There is a scream from upstairs. It sounds like it's. I would do it, but my husband's sleeping right now. But and also it would really be bad for people because I found that when I try to make those sounds, it upsets people.
Sam, stop.
In voice chat, but it's and just like this horrible, painful scream of a female vector upstairs.
it's like, all right, look. I'm like somewhere in the neighborhood, 95 to 100% certain this is a trap. So I'm getting out this big new fancy gun. And we're gonna go up there, I guess, to do this thing. I'm so mad right now.
Good.
Like,
Channel
alright,
that energy
go.
into healing. Let's do this.
What have I missed?
We are now about to do a SWAT breach on this person giving birth.
Also, we have reached 20K on the Kickstarter thanks to an amazing person, Sev.
No, we had a
I'm kicking
watcher.
you for the name because I forgot already.
Chris?
Well, the
Was
name
that
in stream
Astrolin?
is Astrolin.
Astrolin, I think.
Astrolin rounded us out to 20K.
Yes. Yes, it was Astrolin rounded us out to 20K, which was freaking amazing.
Thank you much.
All right, so there you guys are standing at the bottom of the stairwell. Aaron, after you guys have kind of gone through the barricade that was loosely put up, it looks like somebody may have put it up before they left. She's on the. She had said over the radio she's on the second floor of this building. There is a bit of slick and blood at the bottom of the stair on the first floor. And Amelia just gave a big speech about how she assumes this is a trap, and she has gotten out the biggest, baddest gun that she has, and is charging her weapons.
I'm just kind of stalking up the.
And there is also the screaming of a very impained female Vector upstairs.
So I'm just like, all right, so, why don't you guys stay behind me till we know what's up? Cause you're not wearing much. I'm just gonna start up the stairs.
I beg your pardon.
Fine, but could we hurry a little? You know, just in case it isn't a trap.
All right.
It's like, well,
you guys
then...
start slinking your way up. Are you stealthing?
I definitely am.
All right. Anybody doing a stealth roll, please do a stealth roll.
I guess I will.
We'll say difficulty 2 because that's the difficulty you have to do for
You
stealth.
talked me into it.
I question, like, if we should bother, since we've been screaming back and forth on open radio for the past hour, and have established that we're in the same building and coming up to see her.
I would like to be in stealth at the beginning of the combat so I can shoot people, so I'm stealthing.
All right. I can't argue with people who say these things. Well, actually, I can argue and I can win. But anyway.
Okay, so I have a 9.
Right.
But I have a boon in stealth, and I'd like to succeed on a 9.
Good
Even
luck.
with my boon.
Succeed on a 9. You
I
can
know, but I'd
succeed
like
on a
to.
10.
Yeah, you can like to. So no, I'm not going to bother trying to stealth. So we're thumping up the
Aaron's
stairs.
apparently too much of a hurry to stealth.
All right, so you guys are talking loudly, and over the course of Amelia telling you guys act like you're trying to be sneaky going up, but the whole time, every once in a while, there's like the screaming you guys hear up the stairs is being echoed through the radio you guys are carrying, so it echoes in the stairwell.
I like halfway up the stairs, Amelia like slips in blood and like hits the banister with her shoulders, like.
Erin, that's Allegory scream when that happens.
Yeah,
Startled.
it's pretty gross. And Amelia, you realize that's not purely blood.
That's okay.
Yeah. So you make your guys' way up the stairs, and you. I fucking hate you! Just this thing, and you come up, and there is a beautiful. I mean, well, beautiful looking because the tail is amazing. I believe it was a mako shark. Was the one with the really cool, beautiful tails?
Freshers.
No, whatever the thresher sharks were, yeah.
We're just
But
talking
it's-
about like large. The thresher on it has it. Yeah.
Well, I always thought their tail was really pretty because it was like
it's big
longer.
and pointy.
Yeah,
They,
pointy.
The fox of the shark
the
world.
fox of the shark
the
world.
fox,
Yeah.
the fox of the shark world is splayed out with a big bulbous belly on some very dirty blankets. It looks like she's very kind of in a lot of pain. She doesn't have any hair because I think that's usually a surgery they get, or do sharks have hair?
They can grow it.
Alright,
The dolphins don't typically have it.
All right. Well, she's got a mess of dirty, we'll say dirty blonde hair that's covered in sweat and whatever. There's a bit of blood and not okay body fluid smells in here. Anybody who's been in for labor can tell you that there's some not okay going on in that room right now. Aaron, you've never seen this part of the anatomy.
Yeah, I was going to say that Erin's going to be traumatized after this probably, so...
I mean, the rest of us are very worried too, because this is not proper hospitalization procedure for this kind of thing. Just saying.
This is totally not how you have children.
This isn't going to work at all.
This is
Amelia.
not okay.
Amelia is completely unfazed.
But she does look like the usual kind of mostly, even though she's pregnant and it is a very large showing pregnancy. This is not one of those people that you don't know till the end. This is a very obvious pregnancy that she has. She's her arms are very thin. She doesn't have a lot of meat to her face, that kind of thing. She's a very lithe person as a result of probably not having a great diet. But she seems to be having a bit of a struggle, and she's fucking better not be spirals! Oh my god, I'll rip your throat out!
Wait. We're here to help.
Oh,
Is this a trap?
she's not okay.
Erin,
Yeah.
after the not even just momentary, the good 10, 20 seconds of shock and
Man, that was
stunned
dilated looking too. Wow.
horror. A somewhat vacant, wide-eyed Erin will run up and grab her hand. How long did it take us to get here, by the way?
Well, that's the other part you missed.
It's about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it took a while.
I will go grab her hand and try and use the euphoric effect of the.
Oh, okay, you see if you're. She squeezes your hand like entirely too hard, like because I can tell you I have had I've never gone through this personally, but I have sisters that have gone through this and they can break bones for you. It's amazing how strong they get when they're doing this, but it's a very painful moment for
Yeah.
Erin. And then your implant's like, we're gonna feel good, and then she kind of let go a little bit, but she's like pretty much just wanting to put an arm around Erin and just keep Erin close at that point. Like, Erin made me feel better.
Oh,
Aw.
And she just looks at you and she's like, oh, you're such a good little girl. Oh, she pats the side of your face. And she's just like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, look. She's
In the
like, oh, I
meantime,
feel so much better. Yeah.
in the meantime, I am doing a sweep and clear of the apartment. Weapon
It
ready.
looks like this is not someplace anybody has been staying. It looks like, as far as you can tell, it looks like somebody may have swept through here very quickly and then left in a hurry. It kind of has the marks to you, like she might have gone into labor and he might have tried to go get somebody, and this was as close as they could stop.
Okay.
You do figure that probably the blood on the steps is probably from her because of the strain of having to go up some steps, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of that's probably not okay. But you also know that if you were gonna have to leave a pregnant person, you wouldn't leave them on the first floor.
Yep.
So she seems like she's calming down a bit. This is the equivalent of that epidural that every girl needs when this happens.
Mika's gonna
For real.
look over to Amelia and be like, "So do you know like a doctor near here?
No.
Because apparently that's where Billy was going."
Well, if I were to take a wild guess on where a doctor is around here, I'd guess it's in the middle of that giant fire fuck ball over there.
No, I went over there. There was nothing useful.
Exactly. So
You
I
went
guess
part way over there, but you didn't see anything useful.
Definitely not a
I guess
doctor.
let's just hang out until this chick bleeds to death, and then we'll go back about our business.
Well, I mean, it seems like there's probably. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Can't Aaron's healing thing help?
Well, I mean, maybe, I suppose, if she's already, I don't know. How you feeling on that? What happened over at the other place? That's,
She's like getting her composure, just kind of looking between all of you, like you're talking about her just bleeding to death and you guys leaving.
well, she should be used to that. She should be used to that.
Yeah, but you can tell her
It's just
eyes
the
are
reality.
narrowing a bit. This is a cantankerous, angry, pregnant woman right now.
Mika's gonna kind of turn her head and look at her and be like, "So, we're all helping you pull through here, but this is probably a good time to mention that none of us have medical training."
Fuck you!
Well, I mean, that's not gonna help your situation.
Then why didn't you bring a doctor?
We don't have a doctor. Actually, I'm not really sure what we have.
Is nobody medically trained?
Actually, I might have some.
I mean, I could.
No, I
you
don't.
know, I can
No,
take the baby out. I just can't close her up afterwards.
Definitely not.
Like all the surgery I know only goes one way.
The surgery involves the opening of the baby into the world.
I'm gonna say that Zuri went to her other side, but she's like totally helpless at what to do because no, this is just not how this is supposed to go.
All right.
Yeah.
I've got a plan. We're gonna attach the snap shunt to her.
And
We're
then when
gonna-
she leaves, the baby will be there.
Yeah, we're gonna attempt to move the mom without moving the child. This is gonna be some fly shit here.
You're gonna science the shit out of this baby making. You guys are terrible. You guys are really terrible.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna be much
Simultaneously.
help here. She's okay. Well, I can go try to find Billy, I guess, but if he wasn't answering on the radio,
And she's got like a kind of a death grip around Aaron and also around Zuri at this point because she's using you guys for moral support, and also one of you's basically drugs on a stick.
Ow.
Don't leave me, please.
Look,
It's so scary by myself.
I'll stay here.
Minute now. I don't know. It's been
What the fuck?
hours. I just can't keep doing this.
okay,
Ow,
well, keep doing that.
Hours? Why is this hours? This shouldn't take this long.
It's been hours. I don't even know when. I don't know what day it is
Ow.
anymore.
Fidget, Amelia, go find somebody. We'll stay here.
Okay. Miko says, remembering the last time she attempted to navigate.
Amelia, you're probably the only one here that may have had any experience with childbirth before.
I don't know if I have.
I don't know if you have, but you did have a mother who did have multiple kids at one point.
It's just, I like to believe that Amelia's experience with childbirth consists of standing over the expectant
So
parent
I
and
am
going,
going
why
to-
the
I-
hell did
I-
you bring somebody else into this shit world?
Jeez.
But what I'll do is give me a community perceive. We'll see if you can think of anybody in the area. We'll say difficulty 0.
Oh, that means I roll dice.
You-
Yeah.
Community perceive difficulty 0.
Yep.
Okay.
Plus anything?
I don't believe. Wait.
You don't have
Oh, I
anything in
do.
community exert?
Yes, I do. I have 2.
Oh, well, yeah, you're fine.
Okay. 13.
All right.
I
All right.
almost
So,
forgot that I get
Amelia,
Yeah.
you know one thing about the region you're in, you're heavily into spiral neutral crazy area where most people here are running chop shops or worse, right?
Well, that's fine. The spiral doctors should
So-
all be like Hippocratic Oath certified anyway, right?
So you do know that there are occasionally some of the spiral doctors who will do street dock work, but they will expect payment. You might have a lead on where to find one, but you'd need to move pretty quick to get back here probably in time.
Okay. That's probably a lot better than like Amelia trying to remember her mom giving birth, like 16 years ago.
Yeah, but if it's a spiral doctor, aren't they
when
gonna
she was
recognize you?
2. Possibly.
Possibly.
Possibly it's cool. but
Especially since it's somebody you remember.
Honestly, the best option for this would probably be Aaron. That's
yeah, I'm just like, all right. I know
Zuri might work.
somebody. I know somebody.
As an offering?
as somebody to go contact a person because they could be like, my so and so friend is having a baby, I will pay you, or just follow me, I'm worth something. But if I go, or if the X spiral goes, it's liable to lead somebody off. Like they may call in backup.
Well, now I'm gonna do it because I know how to barter with these kind of people. So I'm just gonna see. She just kind of like pulls the magazine out of her gun. It's like I'm gonna see if they will trade 12 bullets staying in my magazine for medical care. And start heading down the stairs.
Alright, so you start heading down the stairs. Is you taking Miko with you, or you leaving Miko?
Miko can come with. I'm not stopping anybody.
I don't suspect there would be much help here.
You're sending this X spiral off alone?
I'm going to. No, I wouldn't be much help in the apartment. I'm going to go with Amelia.
Okay, good.
Because like she needs some backup, obviously.
Yeah, she needs some backup, obviously. So the intrepid duo take off. I won't play this out because it's really uncomfortable for me to visualize what I would need to do to say and make the sounds. But every once in a while, the pain gets worse, and you can see her belly kind of actually shift a little bit. And it's a very, very strange movement that I would have given other people some roles for if they had been in the room still. But they're not there to see this, so they won't realize what's going on.
Not again.
But it's like something's actually moving in there, and it's pretty frightening to watch, actually. Probably for you people that have had, especially when I'm saying you people, I mean like the cog who has never seen anything like this before. Probably, I don't even know if they see pregnant people.
They do. To be honest,
yeah.
like natural pregnancy isn't completely as unheard of or a natural birth rather isn't as unheard of as we're kind of making it. It's just a lot kind of more streamlined. Like
Yeah.
they're
There's a
it's a
system there to
quick,
take care of them.
you're not in labor for long periods sort of thing. It's just kind of an in and out procedure that is easy to kind of patch afterwards. So this is all very sloppy and it's missing a lot of steps. The concept is always the same, but like there seems to be a lot of stuff missing from it.
From what you guys are used to, there's like none of the
Yeah.
stuff that would be supporting in this situation, and
Mhm.
you might necessarily not always be in the room when it happens,
Mhm.
right? So it's probably a lot more terrifying to watch right now. But yeah, it does look very alien of a scene for you both as you're in there, and she gets a little delirious because the euphoria that Aaron is filling her with is really nice. And she starts babbling, asking you guys what you think you should name her son. And she tells you she's sure it's a son. She's sure it's a boy.
She starts singing to herself. Riggedy diggity diggity diggity.
Yeah. But and she starts trying to come up with names for him. And she's gonna name him after Billy. The fucker didn't come back. So I think I'm gonna name him someone else. I don't know. My dad was an ass.
Oh my God.
What was your dad like?
Don't have a dad.
Oh, oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't even think. Oh,
No, it's not like that. It's
what's your name, sweetie?
I'm Aaron.
Oh, that's such a pretty name. You
No,
have such
no.
a pretty. She touches Cypher's blood, a little bit of blood. It's just like her goop. It's just, this is not very great. And it's a lot of mucus and everything else going on right now, bodily fluids. And she touches inside her face. She strokes it. I want to call him Aaron too, and it'll be a boy. And he won't be as pretty as you, but maybe you'll be friends when he grows up. And she's gonna and she started like stroke the side of your head, and she's like, you remind me of my little sister, and just does this, blubbering a bit. Meanwhile, Amelia and Miko, you guys have taken to the mean streets. You're going places that are hostile. Are you stealthing?
Oh yeah, I think I better.
Yeah.
I think I feel like getting noticed down here is probably not the best.
Yeah.
So what's my difficulty?
2, isn't it?
Its stealth is always a 2.
Stealth is always a 2. Okay.
It can vary based on environment. It's a 2 in combat.
Okay.
Yeah, for like stealthing out in the environment, if there's bright lights and no place to hide, it's harder to do.
It's dark. I'll say even. We'll say even right now. Technically, it should be slightly worse because Miko's a glow fest, but I'm assuming Miko's turning that off.
I mean, if I'm told that we're trying to sneak around a little bit, but
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be just like, yeah, we need to. If they catch me out here, they're gonna kill both of us.
what if they
So
catch
you're gonna
me
wanna-
out here?
Probably gonna kill you too.
Oh,
Didn't
well,
you escape
Yes.
before?
that would be the end of that, wouldn't it?
I just like to think that before you said that, Miko went like full bright, the tail arced over their back, and like in like big like letters across the fin, it was like, she's right here. Just like flashing.
It's like, okay, there's two scenarios here. Either they catch you and then they kill you and also me, or they catch me and then they kill me and also you.
Those sound like the same scenario.
They do. Let's try to keep this quiet. What did you say? Even?
Yeah, we'll say even. It's
What does
gonna
that
be zero.
mean? Oh,
0.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Even difficulty.
Alrighty. So that's against my body exert.
Yeah,
Mhm.
body exert and stealth.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 13 with a boon.
I am also burned on this. I don't have any ranks in it, but yeah, so we both pass.
Alright, you
But
both
not
pass.
particularly great scores, so.
Yeah.
Nope.
So you guys
Outstanding.
kind of. So you guys get going down the streets. You do occasionally, as you're slipping from shadow to shadow and staying out of sight, see various groups moving around. You see one of the more open chop shops running, and they're pulling in bodies freshly. And then eventually, Amelia, you.
I'm just gonna, like, when we pass that, I'm just like, see that? That IRPF strike is probably made this Christmas morning for these jackasses.
Yeah, there's a lot of half-burned bodies that are getting hauled in there right now. So it's they're busy. They're very busy right now.
Maybe that'll keep
Yeah.
them from raiding other places?
No, this is really good for us. It's gonna keep them, like, I mean, they're gonna be distracted.
Oh,
They're
great.
gonna be pissed off because they're overworked for the night.
Hey, what happened back at the base?
There was an accident. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Should look around, see if you can find a doctor. Doesn't really know what to look for. Doctors usually, wear doctorly stuff.
There is a little sign up ahead in what looks to be like an entrance to a subway, and it's kind of graffitied onto. And for those that can read, it says "Little Seizures."
Oh, no it doesn't, Sam.
Yes, it does.
No it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Oh, hot
Yeah.
stitches in about an hour.
Yeah. So it says in kind of red lettering, clearly from something that was put on there in post, that it is Little Caesars.
Mika will look at it and give it a slow golf clap and say, "Good job, Satan."
Oh wait, isn't that where you escaped from?
Huh? No, that was a different place. It's just
That
a Little
kinda makes
Caesars
sense.
pun that can't be allowed to live.
Uh-huh. No, I think the joke was that you came from hell. So good job, Satan.
Ah, I see.
Uh,
I see what you did there.
So the opening is there, and also letters along the opening of the stairways down, kind of on the trim work. It says cheap, but with 2 E's.
Well, Mika will do as she's told.
Just grab your mouth.
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been a passcode to get us in or something. We gotta try it.
It's just like, that's adorable, but this is not the time or the place.
Oh, gosh. I don't know how these secret societies or anything work. I mean, usually just kind of flash my card, the door opens.
Alright, so as you guys kind of go down there, you can hear somebody kind of whistling as they work. And every once in a while, the sound of clack and something like meat and bone and metal, and then clack and meat and bone and metal.
So I
And
want you to know
it's
that the
the
last time
equivalent
I
of
was in a
Vector whistle while you work going on.
last time I was in a place that sounded like this, I left it on fire. I just thought you should know.
That's good instinct.
Actually, in fact, the last time I was in a building, I left it on fire. I seem to be doing that a lot lately. She kind of looks behind her, like expecting fire to be there.
And as you guys kind of wander in, you can see the multi-armed form of a very tall Vector. Amelia, you vaguely remember him from when you were a child, and he
an
has
actual
not changed in how horrific he is. He is a very tall creature with a chitinous body and a pink markings on his abdomen, and his jaw seems like it's hinged in different ways, and it's always was kind of creepy to watch him talk. And he turns to look at the people coming down the stairs with his 6 eyes. Ah!
Ah!
Is he one of those? I can't remember what they're called.
The
He's a
exodumps?
blip, of course. That's what he always told you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can't see how delighted I am. But
Ah!
Ah, that one's pretty. Hi, my name's Stefan.
Oh, hi, Stefan.
And he comes. He's very tall and he's lanky. And he comes. And he's got a apron on that is just covered in, well, everything that fell out of the body as he was hitting it with the cleaver. And
Right.
he's comes over and he offers 2 right hands, one for each of you.
I will shake one.
And
Hey,
it's got a glove on it and it's covered in a few things, but he doesn't seem to mind.
I will likewise shake it.
Okay.
Like
Ah, you go. I see you've had some very nice work done. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I am Stefan. I can interest you. I have. He walks over to the pile and picks up a skull, or well, the head of somebody by the back of the head with the hair, and he holds it up. Optics. Do you want optics? I've got optics. I've got
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, let's take
internal reactors. You want an internal reactor?
Well, I mean, you're the third blip I've seen down here so far. Who builds all of you?
I had a bit of a run-in upstairs. I couldn't stay there. You're a pretty blip too. Oh, I think I. He stops and he kind of looks at you. Like he's trying to remember your name.
I'm gonna make
just
pretty
have
flashy
kind of a-
lights appear. I'm just distracting pretty flashy lights.
like an amused look on Amelia's face. Just like, hey, do you know any actual doctoring, or are you just a butcher?
He actually looks like he straightens a bit. Like it's somebody who lives in squalor and stuff like that. He might actually have a bit of pride.
I have been 3 doctors.
I'll have you know, I have been more doctors than anyone else in this damn forsaken hole. And he goes, and that doesn't sound right, but I tell you it's true. Anyway, yes, I know doctoring. I was quite good at it, and I was also very bad at it. And I also had my license questions once, but also I never had an issue with my record.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you deliver a baby?
He pauses for a moment, like the chitin actually like creaks for a moment as he stops and his fingers up. And he slowly comes up and taps the bottom of his like little kind of hinged jaw chin. I haven't done that in forever. How do we do that without machines?
I don't know.
Oh, it'll be fun. I think I could do that. That would be a great challenge.
Miko's just trying to puzzle. I assume you stand
What are we
back
doing
and
with the baby
catch.
after?
Giving it to its mother.
Oh, you're not any fun anymore. Oh, what was your
Yeah,
name?
well.
Scabby. Were you Scabby?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, I'll think of it.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
think
come
of
on.
it.
I guess you're as good as it gets. So, come on.
Lenny. Your name is Lenny.
Yeah, sure. That sounds right. Thanks. I was having trouble remembering.
Oh, this is new. He's like looks at the back of your neck.
I just like slap him away. It's like, hey, I'm
and
not
he
the
goes,
patient.
"Oh, you have one too. Oh, yes.
It's like, I'll tell you what.
Ah.
After we get this whole
You have more?
taken care of, I'll let you take a look at it.
Do you have more of them?
Oh, we've got like 30. That's an exaggeration, but yeah.
Miko's gonna like step on Amelia's foot.
Well,
Oh.
can see like the 6 eyes suddenly all like blink at once, like multiple times, like somebody's just going ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Of you know, you guys just basically said you're high rollers. I'll
Like,
take
yeah,
one.
so. But yeah, sure. I'll tell you what. We'll install it right after we get this baby delivered.
Oh, I just want it. I don't want to wear it.
Whatever.
I'll take it apart. His hands start like clicking together in the gloves, which is, the gloves are actually moving very strangely because he doesn't seem to have as many fingers as the gloves would have on some of his hands. But he starts
Ken.
peeling everything off, and he goes, baby, 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 baby.
Do you
Ah,
know a
Time's
Billy?
probably a factor
What is
on
the mother?
Vector?
You're cute. All right. So he starts grabbing everything, and he goes, okay, Vector, baby. Species.
Shark.
Parents.
Yes.
Not
Medical
present.
history.
No.
Not medical history.
I don't know how to answer
The
that one.
goddamn trash heaps don't know how to. And he starts grabbing things, and he grabs a perk kit and a couple other things, and he goes, "All right, let's go. Where's the car?"
Yeah, you're making the same discoveries I did.
Oh,
Like,
you
how can
guys
you?
are-
How would you
Guys,
think that? Come on, we're just following.
I only
you.
go places in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have the car? Can we get the car?
No, they come get me in the car, and we ride out. Are you not? Do you not have access to the car? Is this? Are we doing this as a side job?
Today is your lucky day. You get to be without the car.
And he makes a lot of clicking noises, and his little mandibles kind of as he goes. I'm so hungry after I walk.
Do you know Billy by chance? I'm just trying to tie up loose ends. I'm kind of stuck on this Billy thing. I'm not convinced
Billy,
he's
he was
real.
delicious. I mean, which Billy?
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I guess I could tell her that. Billy with a
Tell
Y?
who what?
Nothing. We're just trying to find a Billy. Billy was looking for a doctor.
There's been a lot of Billies in the world.
We can figure out that later.
Oh, but I'm
again,
stuck on
time's
it.
kind of a factor on. We'll figure it out. Miko.
All right.
He's gonna look over at Miko questioningly, and he kind of like these little shitness eyebrows that kind of go, and he goes, "You need a saddle."
Well, I mean, that's not usually so abrupt, but I mean, maybe with rhinestones?
You'd go fast. Nice musculature. Finely designed. Good handwork.
He's sweet.
Tail. Yes. Long.
Yeah, he did. He said I was cute. All right, let's go. Come on.
Fancy lip. He says as he walks behind you guys. Every once in a while, he's like kind of like quietly listing off things that Miko knows she has.
Miko's going to be walking proudly up the steps going, "We are damned conspicuous."
Yep, that's true. We should walk quickly.
Alright, so you guys are walking damn conspicuously with them?
Well, unless he wants to hide.
You guys were walking with Stefan, and everyone kind of tries to look away. No one likes to look at Stefan.
Cool.
But Stefan kind of clicks and clacks his way, following behind you guys. He is hunched over a bit, but you get the feeling like if he stand at his full height, he's well over 6 foot. He's a very big boy, but he's also very like thin. He's very kind of like a praying mantis almost in a strange exo-nymphy way. But we're not using that term because that would never be what I would put in a game. I don't do that every time I get a chance.
All I can think of is Zorak.
Yeah, he's basically.
Oh my god. I love him now.
So yeah, he's got that kind of hunched over. The hands are kind of doing that.
What?
All right, but you guys get him to the building, and he's gonna kind of look around and go, "This isn't one of our brooding places."
Nope.
who did you knock up? And he looks between the two of you, and he goes, how did you knock up?
You don't need to know my secrets.
I like you more.
She says mostly because I don't even know my secrets.
The road to discovery. We should have long talks alone in dark places.
I mean, we should deliver the child first, but
Oh yeah, so first the child, then the payment. Yes, and he will click clack his way, and you know after it's been probably close to a half hour of hell of these conversations for poor Aaron and Azuri, of this pregnant woman who's oozing stuff out, and you know every once in a while breathing very hard and having a lot of problems, and gripping you guys a little tightly, and you know blubbering to Aaron that she's going to name her son after Aaron, and she hopes that's not weird, and she hopes her son don't mind.
It's not weird.
And so she's you know having this sweet little blubbering talk, and how Billy's an asshole, and how he left her to go find this doctor and then never showed back up.
well,
And
good news.
and he comes in and he looks around and he goes, oh, more pretties. Ah, many nice
Aaron
things in this
screams.
place." Yeah, he's probably pretty horrific looking to Aaron, right?
Miko's gonna look disappointingly over at Aaron, the other blip.
Hey, I didn't know I was a blip until now.
I just thought I was an ugly baby.
I thought I was a really weird Hemi.
and says,
yeah,
so
he's
good
moving
news, we
forward.
found you a surgeon.
I will deliver the baby. I am Stefan, and you will give me the implants after. Yes. And the girl who's on the ground's like, what?
And it's like, hey,
Zuri has a very similar reaction.
I just like pulled my hold a finger up. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all worked out.
where are the 30 implants?
Wouldn't you like to know? Anyways, there's a
Scabbies
baby.
is funny. Stefan, pull baby out of body now.
Let's do this the right
Who
way.
is
by the way.
nurse? He
Oh,
doesn't
for
wait
fuck's
for a
sake.
response, and he grabs Zuri by the hand and pulls her
What?
into danger.
I'm just like, I'll just kind of like put a hand on both of them.
His head suddenly jerks up. He's very snappish and rigid in how he moves. Everything's kind of a jerk almost. It's not very fluid and flowing. He's very stiff and suddenly creaks and goes. He snaps over at Aaron. Water! Get it!
What? Where?
Water!
Where?
Water!
There's a sink over there.
Okay. Out. I just need to take my hand back for a moment.
And Aaron, you let go, and she eventually lets you go. But
Yeah,
it seems like immediately the pain starts to return, I assume, after that, or how long does it last?
Well, the pain's always there. It's just the euphoria.
Oh, does the euphoria go away when you let go?
Yeah,
Last
well,
while.
so I mean, the kind of gradual effect is more a story thing because the creature doesn't actually have that in its description.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, there's like a lingering moment where she thinks she's okay, and then she starts screaming like she did when you guys first showed up, and she's having a problem, and he pulls something out of a bag and basically shoves what looks to be a metal cylinder in her mouth and says, "Bite, bite, no scream, bite, don't take tongue off, bite." And he goes, "This
Jesus
hurts."
Christ.
Miko's going to be kind of waving her head back and forth as she watches this, but she's got kind of a deeper scowl on her face. Well, it's more that like there are things that aren't adding up to her, and it's the little scowl on her face that pops up from time to time when she seems like she's remembering things that don't correspond. And she's gonna look over to Amelia and says, "His technology doesn't match their wealth."
And he starts, figuring out what he's doing and pulling out the sewing kit to do things if it starts going on. And then you see him put his smaller set of hands into the breach. And the whole time then he kind of he starts snapping again. Water.
Aaron hurries back with the water.
All right. I'm assuming that in the world of tomorrow, you could find a large bowl and fill it with water in this rubble of a building.
Just depends on how looted this building was. I mean, really.
We'll say this building there's probably anvil and some piping that you can spray yourself with water. It's cold water, but it's water, right? So you come back over with this big sloshing bowl of water and you sit down, and there's some very tense moments, and it's hard to read Stefan's face because
Then you'd have to look at Stefan's face.
yeah, you have to look at Stefan's face, but you kind of see that like it goes from like a lot of animation of that jaw kind of flicking back and forth and the little mandibles kind of going to they kind of go still and his head starts to tilt to one side, and he says, "More water."
Okay.
And he looks over to Amelia and says, "Scabbies, take her out." And he jerks his head at Aaron. And Amelia,
What
just
exactly
walks
are you asking me to do?
out of room.
Who am I supposed to take
He's
out?
jerking his head at Aaron.
I just like look over and be like, hey. It's like, hey, kid, stay out of the room for a minute.
Okay. And Aaron does hurry up. Hurry up.
All right, hurry out. And then he's gonna look over at Miko. Cover her eyes. And he jerks his head at the patient.
Cover her. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, sure, I can do that. Here.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah?
We are intending to keep both of these patients alive, right?
Go. He looks like he's very stressed about something.
Here you go. We'll go flop her tail over the shark's eyes.
Okay. You flop your tail over Shark's eyes. He looks briefly at Zuri, and his jaws kind of open for a moment, and there's like the brief flicker of something long and purplish, and he says, "When I go, water, bowl, hold it ready. Ready?"
Zuri still has panic all over.
It's a lateral.
It's a lateral birth, and he does a pull, and a baby lateral shark is pulled out and plunked into the water, and the doctor is giving a very irritated clicking noise.
Oh,
And he looks
the
very
guy's gonna look over and
concerned.
go, oh, yeah, that'd be really uncomfortable without a hospital.
And she starts like, what? She's got the thing in her mouth, and he pulls out a syringe and immediately medicates her, and he basically takes the baby from one basin, washes it off, and put it in the other one, and he sits there, and you can see him moving his smaller hands over the baby repeatedly because he's trying to keep the water flowing.
This is not an ideal location for that particular species.
And he goes, very bad, very bad.
This is not an ideal location for anybody, I'm coming to think.
Very bad.
Yes, but this one needs to breathe while moving through waters.
Miko's gonna look back over at where all the water came from. How large was that pipe?
It's probably the piping that goes from a house. This would have been a house at one point, right?
But it's flowing, right?
It's probably turned off because you probably cranked the thing, but there's probably a bathtub in there.
No, but she got the water from somewhere, which means the building
the water
has
did come out.
yeah the building has a main line from the street.
Yeah, the water there is a main line.
So something's providing water to this area.
Yes.
Well,
because this is actually spiral territory, and they have amenities.
She's gonna look over at the doctor and says, "So something's pumping water into this building. Do you have a reservoir?"
Yeah, we have water clean it treatment. I don't. Stefan doesn't. Stefan concerned.
Okay, so what is going on?
You peeking your head back in?
Yeah.
You peek your head back in, and Stefan is, the mother is completely passed out, in a very unladylike fashion, with her legs still up. But Stefan and Miko and Zuri are kind of hunched over what appears to be the large bowl of water that Aaron had provided, and he is massaging something in the bowl of water that appears to be fish-like. It's a baby lateral shark.
Doot 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 doot.
And he is moving the water as quickly as he can to keep the water flowing over the gills.
Well, we can. She'll and when she sees that the mom is asleep, she'll lift her tail up and then kind of peek over and go over to start the tub up because it's the closest we got at the moment.
The baby is adorable, by the way.
She'll start the tub going, "This is a place to start, but I don't know what we're gonna do from here."
Baby need transport.
Do you have an aquatic frame? They make sockets for. Now, this is another one of those things that you guys have. Listen, your boss has stole 6,000 credits worth of material. What?
I know where get frame. I don't have frame. How many implants?
She's gonna look over to the person who began this 30 implant negotiation. How many implants, Amelia?
Wait, what implants?
30 implants. Wants one.
No, I pointed out that was a exaggeration.
So,
he kind of like stops for a second and then continues going because unfortunately, like at least 5 of the people he's eaten, they have actually have some sort of medical code that they had to live by. First, do know well.
I think we have something else that we can pay with. You have any use for Vide?
Lots of PT use. Bad stuff though. We need frame. Baby not good down here though. Baby not good down here.
What about in the tub?
Huh?
Tub.
Get tub ready.
That's what she already did, so it's been filling.
All right. He will offer the bowl with the little thrashing baby shark in it to Zuri. I not want to do that. You do it. Go, nurse. Go.
Yes, sir.
Just like, yeah, somebody. I mean, this is not the. Somebody else do that.
Miko's gonna head on back over toward the door and let Aaron back in because she figures the damage has been done at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron,
Come on in.
Amelia's been at the door, you guys yelling back and forth, so I figure I've heard most of it.
Yeah, you probably poked your head in, and
Yeah.
you can see there's this little baby shark in that bowl that you've provided, wiggling around in the water, and you know that's not what babies look like.
Aaron is very confused.
Miko's gonna grin over to the side of it and says, "You see that? That's because humanity was lazy."
Okay.
Okay, I like that. That's what she always says when she doesn't know better.
It's her default when she doesn't know how to respond.
This is why it always happens to Miko. She thinks he's a very agreeable person. Really?
So where do we get the frame? What's the frame?
Well, most laterals can. I mean, at least the aquatic ones, if they want to come on land, they can get aquatic frames, but they're kind of large, and you'd have to get a specialty one for a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any idea what you guys are talking about.
It wouldn't be too hard to build something as long as we can keep him stable. The real trick's gonna be feeding him.
The doctor is of course just nodding, and he's checking over the other patient because he's convinced she's okay. He will kind of mutter and he says, "Little bit of bleeding, baby bite, baby have teeth,
Um. Oh.
baby
Erin
bite
will.
there, not good by the way."
Erin will try and sneakily go over to her and just take her hand as if going, yeah, it's okay, and it's been
Realizes
over an hour now.
She's still
Yeah.
unconscious.
She's unconscious, but that's fine.
Yeah,
You gonna heal
so
her a bit?
I'm just gonna feed a HP into her. To whatever that amounts.
And of course, this makes Stefan's eyes suddenly flicker again as he looks at Aaron. Another implant. Nice, nice. Very expensive. Fancy blips. Fancy blips. Stefan
Yeah.
fancy blip.
You're very
Stefan-
fancy.
Stefan very fancy blip.
Stefan could stand to be fancier.
Stefan would like your fancy to become his. No.
I'd be fanciest, Stefan fanciest now.
I just want him to put another it.
Stefan will kind of go into the area where the water was, find some running water, and he washes himself off a bit, and he kind of checks on the baby and makes sure the water's moving around a bit so that baby can get those gills going, because that's not running water, it's not really oxygenating, and he looks like he's fussing a bit more than you probably would have expected him to, Amelia. Because you had always a kind of a cold regard for these kind of guys,
Just like, hey, Aaron,
Yeah,
you want to help out?
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the kid needs water running over her. I don't know. I don't know. It's gills. So can you just kind of
Stefan calls from the bathroom, "I'm not checking."
So you what? Can I what?
Can you just kind of swirl the water in the bathtub?
Oh yeah, I can do that. And Erin will do that.
It's kind of cute because the baby wants to play with you.
Ow, fingers. Ow.
Like chewy puppy.
Oh no, I've got enough of this in real life right now.
I know.
Just giving you mouth hugs.
Mouth hugs. It's learning its boundaries by chewing on the world. So baby shark time.
Erin does the gently guide head away from hand.
Yeah, it does seem to keep coming back to your hand for you to stroke its back, boy or girl. It wants physical touch. Unfortunately, it is. I mean, it has kind of the mindset of a baby human in there somewhere, right? It wants to be coddled and cared for, but it's also wibbly little fish that's also learning to swim, which it doesn't seem like it's very good at it, by the way. There's a little bit of effort that has to go into getting it going and reminding it to keep going. But the doctor is gonna kind of come up on Amelia, and he kind of looms there behind you. He's very big and hunched. We take baby, not tell mother. Be mean.
What?
We take baby, not tell mother. Better that way.
What do you mean?
He looks over at the bathtub and he looks back over at the mother and he goes, "She not be able to care. Heartbreak soon. We take baby. You take baby."
Yeah, I can't take care of it.
That's not right.
he kind of lets out a little bit of a sigh, and his little mandibles kind of go for a second, and he goes, "Think, not good. Need
Like, no,
different zone."
yeah, I'm with you on that. It's just, yeah, I can't do it.
Miko's gonna kind of click her tongue a little bit, and she's doing the slower sway than she usually does, because the mortality rate on a lateral shark is actually pretty low, even in good conditions. Or pretty high, even in good conditions. This is not ideal. You don't have a food source for this. Or a habitat.
He goes, "We take baby. We make trade."
Right?
He nods, and he goes over to one of the windows and points out, using his left arm, and only his larger arm, and he goes, "Progenitus surrender facility."
Oh, that would work.
So I'm guessing they would not take her.
You want to take her drugged? I need more money.
By the way, as I missed that whole thing, is Erin aware of the fire?
Yeah, you're aware of
being
the
separate
fire
now?
going on right
Yeah.
now.
No, the fire Agiform.
Oh, I don't know actually. Amelia did that inside the garage while you were tending to the body, so I don't know if Amelia actually had left it in any view. So I will say it's up to Amelia. Amelia, what do you think? Do you think Aaron would have seen you had the age of form?
Sure.
All right, so you know Amelia has the age of form.
Okay. You wanted one of these kind of things, right? And Erin, taps the.
His eyes blink rapidly again. Yes, want to learn.
Okay, but you get both of them to this progenitus whatever, and we can get you one.
I keep unconscious. I get payment still.
Yeah.
Can see. No lies.
Yeah.
Miko is frowning because, as far as she's aware, the other Age of Form has already been claimed.
And he's gonna look over at Aaron because he's assuming Aaron's making the negotiation now. Show.
We'd have to go get it.
Can I actually say that I just put it in my backpack?
Yeah, it's probably in your backpack. I was gonna say I don't think you would have left it there with those kids.
I don't
No.
want it around those kids.
Yeah, I don't think you
No,
would have left it anywhere near those kids. So
that's
you
true.
probably brought it with you. So it's in your bag.
Just like, so I'm just like gonna take it out and just be like.
He actually doesn't approach. He just straightens, and you can see his eyes flicker a lot, and he's looking at it.
Miko's eyes are also going to get wider.
Just
Like,
like, hey, again, you said you wanted to tear this thing apart.
Yes, much learned.
So you're gonna pull it to pieces and kill it.
Yes. Can have for that.
It's like, get her. I just put it back in my thing. Just like, get her and the kid to the progenitus station. It's yours.
I make happen. You want come see proof I do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Also, I want them both alive when they get there.
well, let's not ask for miracles
He
here.
actually like goes a little rigid and stiffens again. What take me for? I stiffen. I doctor.
Wow.
Any doctors?
Gotta dot the I's and cross the T's.
Her eyes just kind of narrow.
Oh my god, he must have the worst handwriting. That many doctors.
So it's not a multiplicative effect. You just take the worst handwriting of all of them and put it together,
No, it is,
right?
It is.
Whichever one has the worst handwriting
stacking
score,
debuff.
that's the one.
He will look over to Aaron because he probably can see that Aaron has a radio because there's not really a lot of places to hide it.
No.
Radio.
Aaron hesitates briefly because this Aaron's not stupid, just naive. But Aaron hands it over.
He starts cranking through the channels, and Amelia, you see what channel he's going to. It's one of the spiral channels, and he pulls it up with the smaller hands going to up towards his what it would be equivalent of a hearing area for a exo nymph, and he clicks it. This Stefan require truck, no driver, drop off, and then he gives coordinates. No ask, Stefan pay later. No, fuck you.
Diga knobs.
Diga knobs.
Diga knobs.
No, mine. No, you owe me.
I'm just sidling over to Zuri, just like, you got that gun, you got that.
And he basically he goes, yeah, Fuzznack, but no. Alright, fine. And 2 bottles. Fucking morphine addict.
Okay,
I'm afraid I did not catch what you said.
I said Amelia's just kind of like, while he's talking, just like sliding quietly over next to Zuri, just like, you got that big ass gun of yours, pretty girl?
Yeah, of course. Why? Think
Like,
there's gonna be problems?
I think that somebody might want to get on a vantage point and watch to make sure that truck is left with nobody watching it.
Okay.
There could easily be problems.
Alright. He goes and stands by a window looking like he's brooding, and he seems like he's getting more and more thoughtful of the situation he's in as time is going by.
He's actually having to gather his thoughts.
Yeah, well, he has to have an internal argument with like 12 other people right now. But I mean, he's also kind of like piecing together certain things, like this isn't spiral behavior that you guys are exuding right now. So he looks like he's having some thoughts, because Amelia, you know how they are.
Yeah.
And you know that what you're doing right now is probably smelling fishy. Haha. To him.
I get it.
Okay, there are no fish here.
But you do see that he does go in there and continue checking on the baby.
I'm just kind of just moving back and forth, kind of predatorially keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Zuri will try to find a vantage point.
Alright, Zuri, you can get to the top of this building. It is a 6-story building, and there's a roof. It is cluttered with crap. Do you have any night vision?
Do not believe so.
Your
Alright.
rifle's scoped, right?
Yeah.
It's built in.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
then,
good.
Yes,
So you can see, because I was gonna ask if you had a rifle with a scope on it. So,
Yeah.
all right. So you can see, and it's actually a little blinding when you first spot the truck because it has one little headlight, and it's really bright to look at with the scope, which I'm assuming you buried away. But you see a truck that gets parked about at the end of the block from you, and you can see a kind of scraggly looking hedgehog vector get out, and he takes off kind of doing a loping kind of nervous run back in the direction that the truck came from.
Okay. I'll watch it for another minute or so.
Mhm.
Just take a general look around, see if I spot anybody watching, and assuming I do not, I will return to the others.
It is a flatbed, so it only has room for 2 people in the passenger seat, and then the back is pretty much just open.
Okay.
All right, and you can go inside.
While she's up there, I was gonna go over to Amelia and just kind of like whisper off to her side. How did you get that off of him?
Just came right off. Don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't just come right off. Is that what blew up?
There was an accident.
Oh, Sorry.
Alright.
She looks a little downcast, feeling a wee bit guilty.
There is a few minutes before I'm assuming Suri comes back down, and Stefan will stiffly pick up the
Did you just cut out?
unconscious mother.
Hmm?
Huh?
Hello?
What?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Steve? Steve?
I can hear.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oop, there we
should
go.
be.
I had
Alright,
it was I nudged the wrong knob on my thing.
That's what you get for playing with your knob. Alright. Well, anyway, the Stefan basically will suddenly kind of pick up the unconscious female shark vector, and heft her up, very lightly, and he's being very careful as he starts going down the stairs with her. But he kind of overs the shoulder to the rest of you. Take baby, keep water move.
okay.
And he starts walking down to the truck.
Aaron, I'll carry the bowl. You keep the water moving, okay?
Is the bathtub movable?
No, obviously not. I'm gonna use the bowl.
No, it's worth asking.
Mhm.
I don't know what future materials it might be light but tough this bathtub's made from.
It doesn't reduce the weight of a tub full of water.
I don't know what kind of crazy
Bathtub
future
itself
water
doesn't
they might
weigh
have.
anything.
The sad thing is this would be so much easier if you guys had one of those aqua form, the
Flowform generator? Yeah.
Actually, if we because we had some of the levitating frickin' cargo lifts back at the other place, we didn't bring any with us.
Yeah, then you could have
Okay.
brought the bathtub.
We must never leave stuff like that behind.
Yeah, the
now.
little graph generator thing was over there.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. This would be a lot easier if we had technology.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Alright, so you guys get the baby in there, and Aaron's you're playing, you're in the water thing. Every once in a while, it nips your fingers, and it
Ow.
almost acts like it's trying to suckle on your finger because it doesn't really know what it's supposed to be trying to do because it's getting a lot of mixed signals.
I
in it.
imagine I'm learning a lot about my own regenerative properties now.
Yeah, you are. You're learning a lot about. Ow! Oh, and of course your implant loves this. Oh, baby, make the pain happen. Oh, baby, oh, it's so cute. Ah!
That is quite a sentence.
Yeah, it's quite a thing.
Baby,
But it's,
make the pain happen.
but eventually you guys can get out to the street, and you load up in the flatbed, and the Dr. Stefan is already positioned himself in the back of the flatbed, and he's kind of holding the mother in a way that would look very romantic, but it's actually very clinical because he's just trying to keep track of her vitals. But he's holding her very close and checking on her. And he pats with one of his many free hands the spot next to him. Right here with baby. We keep watch baby.
Okay.
Shouldn't
You
the baby
drives.
be on the front?
Who drives?
I've got it.
Oh no.
Stefan have concerns. Lateral not drive, please.
Can anybody here drive?
Stefan kind of racist.
No,
Where
I know the theory of driving.
Stefan have concerns.
I got it. I'll drive it.
Okay. I actually have
Alright.
1 point in pilot.
Oh, it's pilot, not operate. I have no point in pilot.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay, so-
oh yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
puts his hand up hesitantly. Like I've read about driving.
Zuri has concerns.
I
Stefan
got it.
Stefan does this mock thing of raising one of his hands too. Stefan no drive.
I'm just like I got it here. I'm just gonna hand my rifle to I don't know, I guess Aaron. Just like here.
This
Oh
isn't how
great.
you drive.
So you're gonna hand her the gun while she's supposed to be moving the water. Or
Okay,
is
never
Suri
mind.
moving the water?
I'll
Who's
just-
moving the water?
But once the boat sit down, I assume Siri can do it.
Zuri's gonna stay on the back with basically the baby, and she's gonna take over water moving duty.
Okay. Well, it's really cute, Zuri, but it doesn't like to chew on you. It doesn't like that feeling.
No.
But it still likes to brush against you, though. It likes
Do-
your attention. It just doesn't like your taste.
Do you know anything about driving, Amelia?
Yeah. I'm just gonna get in and start head driving there.
Okay.
Okay, and that's where we're gonna close for tonight.
Okay.
We're gonna start the adventure with the vehicle driving next session. That was actually really fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did. I'm very upset that we're ending right now.
I know. Well, I realize I'm 20 minutes after, and some people are in various time zones where that's extremely cruel, and I am so sorry, guys. I need to find the XP portion of what's okay to give you guys.
15.
15. All right, everyone's getting 20 tonight.
Hello.
On top of the 5 you got earlier, so be proud.
Oh.
Thank you.
Is-
We're
I
done
remember
good.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, I'd like
Good.
to remind everybody.
Kick that starter.
Yeah, kick the kicker, kick the baby. I mean, kick
The starter.
Kick the starter. Well, remember, if you kick the starter, you might influence whether or not that baby little shark makes it.
Sam, you can't hold little baby sharks hostage. Doot.
Yes, I can.
This is not
I,
powers that were granted to the guide.
Mhm.
I want to.
Doot.
What are you gonna do?
I was gonna say something. I can't remember what it was. Now all I can think is Baby Shark.
That's because it's like 3 a.m. over there. Doot.
Oh, I remember. I was gonna say I was hoping that the baby would just like kind of wrap its fins around Zuri and be like, "I love you, cold, unfeeling metallic arm."
No. See, it really actually does like Zuri. It's just that Aaron had a flavor.
Where's your blood?
Well, it's hungry. It was just born. It's had a stressful life already. All right, so yeah, the 20 XP to everybody tonight because that was amazing. You guys went through a lot emotionally. At least I felt it was a lot emotionally. I'm actually kind of excited that the baby's doing okay, and you guys went and got a doctor because I had plans for bad things happening. You guys probably did.
Okay, so I've got a plan.
Yeah.
It's called I have enough XP to go 3 stages up in the mind perceive and get 2 proficiency points so I can learn how to drive real quick.
Is it called Amelia? I'm taking the wheel. Because if you do, in the equivalency of this setting, you are Jesus right now. So
Yes.
Aaron, take the wheel.
So yeah, get out of the fucking driver's seat. Mind perceive 2 techniques, 2 proficiency. Done.
What's I'm trying to remember how to add experience points.
It's over in the record sheet.
Yeah.
If you do it at the top where it says running total, just add it to that.
Is
I'm
that
refreshing.
Right. Running total. You see on record sheet there's the blue field. If you put it into one of the amount columns,
Yeah, you put it to
it'll
the
add
one
it
that
to your
says.
total.
And Aaron is actually a form of blip. Aaron is a Hemi blip that because when they made her, the person that bought her, him, because Aaron's actually a boy, but they're very effeminate looking, and all the NPCs are convinced that Aaron's a girl. But
So is Amelia.
everyone's
Most of the
convinced.
party actually
Yeah, actually everybody
has
I
not
think, is
been
so
told
dumb. The only
otherwise.
people that don't know or know different are probably their parents and the people that designed Aaron. But Aaron was bought as a blip to look like an elf because the people that were getting the child had a fantasy genre kink of things that they were doing for their children, and Aaron got to be the elf child. And Aaron's technically a cat. But that's kind of like a fun. So it's actually kind of a neat thing. It's just like I had a centaur in one of our games, and I loved my Hemi centaur. That was great. So it's kind of a neat thing you can do with it. But that's one thing I've always made kind of open to my players is just like if you want to make a fantasy character, technically they could buy one. As a blip. So I'm like, if you want to have one. you want to make a kobold, and if you may want to make like a WoW kobold, you could probably do that. You know what they can do.
Someday I'll play my Sphinx.
Yep.
I have a Sphinx as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
Sphinx buddies.
You think you
All
do.
right. Well, I think thanks everybody for coming to watch tonight. I think we had quite a few people who watched, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it and don't mind my miserable DMing skills. Thanks again to my players.
Good
You guys were
times.
amazing, and remember to back the Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Gaming, Sammy.
Thanks.
Thank you for
Yeah,
game.
Kickstarter.
Thank you for running your game with your actually very good game mastering skills.
Oh, see, I already turned it off by the time you said that.
Dang it.
That was the plan, in fact.
Save for posterity.
No, that was actually
Kickstarter.
really fun. I will tell you, I was actually planning on having a Samantha